1, 0, blast off. Zoom.
There, we look like we're live now, so that's good.
It's working! It's working! Did you get it?
It's doing it. No. What's that from?
One of the best lines. Guys, who gets the reference?
I recognize it, I just can't remember what it's from.
Think the yell's really important. And think
Screaming over something loud.
There's like wind. It's like a very loud noise. It feels like... Anybody?
Oh, I'm gonna kick myself when I find out, because I...
It's working! It's working! Anybody? Anybody? Last guess? No one's guessed, but... Doesn't matter. Phantom Menace. Anakin.
That's what I was thinking, but...
He yells and just like, oh god, really?
Yeah.
Matt Boardman, he got it. Episode 1. See, he got it. He got it.
Hi, guys. Welcome back.
Now, Stuart, do you want to make the obvious joke, or shall I?
I don't know. Something about peak performance.
Stuart, your peak performance for today's live?
Oh, there it is.
Not rocket science, but it is dilithium science.
But programmed in multiple techniques.
But are you a multi-level master at streaming? Is that a... I just watched it. I should remember what it's called. What's it called?
Oh, Stratagem.
Oh yeah. Stratagem.
Yes. And everybody's pointing out my jacket. Yes, it's not a jacket. It's actually just a fleece top that I ordered.
Where from?
Ooh, it's from a place called Mountain Warehouse.
Okay.
Very cool. So, got the old Trekyards badge on there.
Was it meant to be Star Trek?
Nope.
Ah.
Got them in a bunch of colors, but this is the only one that they had in my size because they have a gray, they have a yellow, they have a blue. That's some other colors too, but all the XLs and those sizes are all gone. So I guess all the Star Trek fans have clued in.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind one of those. They're kind of cool. Where was it from again?
There's probably something it's called Mountain Warehouse.
Is it a US company?
Well, it's funny because my buddy Matt Toms, who lives near you, Norwich, he sent me a picture because he had ordered one. So I looked on Amazon, found it, ordered it, and there's a mountainwarehouse.ca as well. He told me to tell you to get one. So
I like it. Oh yeah, I see it, and it's on sale, on clearance.
Yeah, it's on sale right now. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. For £13 from 20, I would not pay 30, and it's in small. I will, yeah. Okay, I mean it's a wrong ass bloody weather for it.
This is the dark burgundy. There's a more red one, which I wanted initially, but I'm glad I went with the darker.
Yeah, that's actually, I like that. I'll actually get one of those. Like I say, they won't be very useful for the summer, but that could be one of our new uniforms. You should get a second one, Stuart, because we know how the uniforms eventually die.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's actually, yeah, I'll absolutely get one of those. There you go, Stuart. You convinced me all in the live stream. How do you feel?
This episode's sponsored by Mountain Warehouse.
I hope you're going to go there. I hope you're going to go there.
It's very cool. It's very nice. And it's got the pocket here, which is nice because you put your little magnetic badge in there.
Yeah, I have.
And then when you don't want the badge on, you just throw it in the pocket.
Yeah. It's funny. This says UK's largest specialist retailer, but it's a .com.
Oh, double guitars, thank you. Yeah, I've actually I trimmed it yesterday because I was watching my live back and I'm going, that thing fucking looks lopsided. Pissing me off. So I kind of trimmed it and it looks a little better. I hate the way it grows though, but whatever. Trekyards isn't working for the promo code, says Thribs. Well, that's because I have a promo code for them.
Well, make some sales, we'll tell them. And then. So should I get the blue as well, do you think? I don't know, would blue look good? I think blue would look good as a fleece colour, but that red does look good.
Yeah, the red looks amazing. I would blue. I don't know. I don't think I'd ever wear the blue. I considered ordering the blue. I want to get a gray one, but there's none in my size.
You know what we should do? We should buy like 10 and give them and like sell them at slight mock-up as like exclusive. Like you get a com badge with. This is a crew vest we're now officially doing.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like that.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
saved it. There you go, and it's on sale. Sorry guys, this episode not sponsored by Mountain Warehouse at mountainwarehouse.com. Clearance
That's right.
now. Hi Stuart, how you doing?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Had a weird old day, but it's been good. I like days when I can focus on one topic. And so when I have to move around from different projects, it kind of whatever's me. But I started doing some turntable renders for upcoming episodes we're doing, all the Deredex and stuff, because they're things you can have in the background. And I sort of know a few that are upcoming, so I thought, hey, just get some 500 frame, which is a very long turntable done in Nas Jerez.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, good.
I guess I'll start sharing while you talk to the people. Get that out of the way.
You do that.
64 already. I want to see 100 people by the time I get back. That's what I want to see. It's my goal. Everybody, like, share, subscribe.
That's right. So, guys, we are looking at peak performance today. Probably one of the best Star Trek episodes, in my opinion, which we'll talk about when we get into the review. We already have 2 super chats, which is great. So, thank you guys for super chatting. We'll get to those in a second. Well, I'll just get them out of the way now. Because they don't need Samuel to comment. Olivia Julius puts in $2. First super chat. It'll probably be the last super chat as well, I hope. And Rosetta Allen, $2. Hey you, it's my favorite foul-mouthed Canadian. Where? Not me. I'm not foul-mouthed. Never have been, never will be. Anyway, guys, as you just saw, super chats are a great way to help us out, support the channel, get noticed, get recognized, have us read it on air. So if you have a comment, question, anything you want to talk about with this episode, please let us know via super chat, or you can support the channel other ways so we can keep doing these, either by joining Patreon or joining the channel itself. Which is a great way to do it as well. And also the links down below. There's Teespring store stuff. There's Trekyards shirts. Not this one, but there's Trekyards shirts. And lots of other cool stuff that you can do and help support the channel. So keep us going. Keep us, doing our thing for you guys. And hopefully you guys... Rosetta Allen, $2. Don't make me send your fans our stream. Look up Rosetta Allen. Look up Captain Foley. You'll find it. They know what I'm like. If they follow my lives, they know what I'm like, Rosetta. Don't worry. Anyway, yeah, Rosetta Allen's a good person. Kinda. I like her. So go subscribe to Rosetta Allen if you want some good, interesting content. She's a good comic artist and does some really good interviews and stuff with some great people. And she's part of the community kind of thing with like Sci-Fi Nation, Anti-Tracker, Bird of Prey 5, all those guys, DJ Odyssey. So those are all people you should probably be following because I go to their streams and listen to them and engage with them all the time. So go check them out. And I know you're just giving me crap, Rosetta. I know how you operate. It's fine. So anyway, yeah, hopefully he'll be done sharing soon. He looks very engaged. Engage. Make it so. Sure. So yeah, I got this in the mail today, and I thought, I've been wearing it all day. And I threw on the Trekyards card style com badge there, as you see. And then my captain's pips, and I think it looks fantastic. It's a good makeshift uniform, and yeah. Kieran Evans, hope it's a good chat. I'm listening whilst writing my PhD thesis. How can you write and listen at the same time? I can listen to music when I'm writing, but not talking. Yeah, so I feel you. I hope it is good as well. Oh, I put the pips on. They're not on it. No. Dan Hall is here. Damn, I'm late again. Hi, all. Hope all are well. You haven't missed anything. We haven't started talking about the episode yet. Samuel's still sharing away there. So, bye, Hathaway. Yeah, well, you can tune in 3434. You can get them in gray. So yeah. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying, Rosetta. Keep listening. Thank you very much.
Won't let me share on any page except our main one. The post button is blacked out.
It did that to me earlier today. I had to copy it from my phone, and then I had to post from my phone to all the other Facebook pages.
Fun. That's why I was confused looking, because it shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I thought it was just me earlier, but I guess not.
It does do that sometimes, to be fair, but very infrequently.
Yeah. We got 2 more super chats, which is awesome.
Excellent. Excellent.
Mark Lawrence, $5. Getting a few jackets as they are cheap right now. Good idea, Mark. I wish I could get a gray one in XL or a yellow one in XL, but they didn't have those sizes available anymore, so this is okay. Jeff Jacobs puts in 253. 53, well, yippity-dee. Oh, my God. Let's get 100. Hashtag make Jeff pay. There you go. God damn. All right, so...
Okay, will this work now? Then let's have a look.
So, talking about peak performance.
Yes.
Oh, he's still sharing.
Well, so. You can give your review. I'll just do it slowly on my phone.
All right. Honestly, it's one of my favorite episodes of all Trek, really. And I was excited to watch it. And upon watching it, yep, it's exactly what I remembered. And it was just really good. And I have a really interesting view of this episode. It's got a lot of ship stuff. It's got a lot of great character moments. Every character gets a part to play. It's worth saying, in my opinion, I think this is probably one of the perfect Star Trek episodes, just because it's a good mix of ships, alien, but all the characters get something to do.
But Stuart, Star Trek isn't about ships.
But it is, though.
But Michael Chabon, the new head showrunner, says it's not.
I know.
And he's made Star Trek.
And to top it all off, there's no conflict at the end because they solve it with, Federation guile and talking. So there's no battle. And it's very much, even Picard says, I was reluctant to take place in these war games because Starfleet is not a military organization. We're explorers. But with the Borg threat. So it sums up Starfleet beautifully. It's just, it's a perfect episode of Star Trek, it feels like. It's going to be ranked very highly when it comes to ranking it at the end here. So
guess it'll have to be.
There's a lot of great elements to it, for sure.
Wowza.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, lot to digest there that you just said. If this had been the season finale rather than the next one, boy, what a high to end on. It really kind of sours season 2, the next one. This one's fun. I remember liking this one a lot when it came out. I mean, who'd have thought? With the ship guys, this has great ship stuff. I think it's less ship stuff than you think it does, but that's not a bad thing. It has more character stuff than you remember it has, but that stuff's almost always great. So actually, as a balance, you're like, oh yeah, lots of ship stuff. Yeah, it's like 30%, 40% ship maybe, but some really good character stuff. This was actually better on second viewing, or this viewing, in the big screen, HD, Blu-ray, better on second viewing. And I had high expectations, and I started watching it, and I just finished watching it because I like to have it fresh, thinking, okay, is it going to really hold up to expectations? It actually was better than I remember, and that's impressive to do. And also, I think it's because of the character stuff. This episode feels like whoever wrote it legitimately understood every single character. And that is honestly a rarity.
And even Pulaski is... I love her character in this one. She shines in this one. She's not... and for me to say that, I'm not a huge fan of Pulaski.
You weren't.
Watching season 2 now, back again, Jill was right. I mean, my view on her has changed a bit. But this is one of those episodes that when you want to get somebody into Star Trek, is one that I would show them. There's very few that I would say definitely watch this one if you want to get into Star Trek. And there's certainly some that I would say never watch if you're not a fan. Wait till you're a fan before you watch certain ones, because they're just not great for getting somebody hooked and into the series.
I don't know if I'd say that because you don't understand who everybody is.
You don't have to though, but they all have their character traits. They are all who they are. They show the best side of themselves in this episode and who the characters are supposed to be. So you don't need to know who they are. You don't need the backstory.
I think Picard would be the one out of all of those who you'd be more confused about, because he's very... He doesn't act... He acts in a very certain way. This episode, more of the season 1 hard ass. And if you only saw this episode, you'd think he was more of a hard ass that, yes, likes his crew, but is very kind of stern, not very happy, except in a few moments. I think he's the exception to that when you realise how nice he is as a man. This one, that doesn't quite come across, but that, just to find a slight counter to that. Because they do explain that, acting Ensign Crusher, and they do, everyone's explained. So yeah, that'd be my only caveat to that.
Yeah. Olivia Julius, $2.
Thank you.
Oh no, yeah. Sorry, Olivia Julius, $5 first.
Oh wow!
This is the best episode for any nerd who wants to compete ship-to-ship battle. To compete ship-to-ship battle in a situation. Yes, it's laser tag with starships. And Olivia Julius again, $2. I would have sent out the hashtag Picard killer fertilizers. That's her strategy. I'm telling you.
Her stratagem.
Her stratagem, yes.
Yeah.
Very clever.
The only thing I'll say watching this again is that the battle bit, they didn't have the budget to realize the space battle, and I was left wondering. I mean, like they say, full impulse. While they doing big zooming maneuvers, even though really they're only presented as being very static. I think if you were really going to do it again, you'd actually add shots in between to kind of give it some flair. It loses that, but that's limited budget. Like these are mammoths of ships. In reality, they're sort of just doing this. Pew pew. There's no strategy you can really do with these two ships. You know what I mean? Without the bonus things, there's not much you can do. It would have been nice to actually see them do something. It's like with Equinox. They had to go into an atmosphere and then bounce off and do all these little things. There's something you could do in the situation. That they don't represent it that well. That's the few shots we do get are absolutely amazing model at the time. They invested. They could just have had 3 times as many to kind of give us the battle.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, though. The one ship was supposed to not be able to do anything, pretty much. So I have no issue with the way the battle was presented, because the Enterprise didn't expect anything, really. Because the other ship wasn't maneuverable, didn't have enough power, all this. And, I thought that was an interesting take.
But I was wondering then who this is meant to be challenging, because in the conventional sense... Riker, the ship would never win, and Riker has to cheat every step of the way. So, in a real situation, if they do this again, he would lose within 5 or 6 seconds. So I'm not really sure. This episode kind of falls down in the sense that it has to know its own script to know it works. A little bit. Like, why did the Ferengi appear at the end? And why does the trick work then? It shouldn't have. There's a few little things like that that's like, okay, we're kind of... And you just say it's brilliant, so I'm trying to, again, we're trying to be fair. But who is the battle ready for? Is it for Picard? I would have put Picard on the Stargazer, on the Hathaway, to see if the superior captain could, bring his bridge crew and see in an inferior ship. You're against a Borg cube, see if you can take one out. Captain Picard be on Enterprise D. I mean, all he says is fire and he wins. Do you know what I mean? There's no strategy. The shields can't cope. Who's it for? I don't know.
Doesn't matter. It's too enjoyable.
Well, gotta be fair, Stuart. Gotta be fair.
Nah, I'm disagreeing with you there, though. But
you can't be fair about it. You gotta
not
be
about
biased.
being fair. About the fact that Picard should have been on the other ship. I like that he selected Riker to do it. I think the original idea was for Picard to be on the ship, but he said no. I think Riker should do it, because the other guy's like, why did you pick him? So who knows the situation exactly, but it's good to keep everything finely honed. So,
but I guess it's also possibly kind of like it'd be nice if it'd been more like the stratagem, where that game lasts under a minute. The 2 times it's played until the end, right? This battle situation should probably also last less than a minute in a real situation, based on the fire powers, and that might have been a nice it would be nice if there'd been rounds to it. To very much mimic the internal game, the external game that Hathaway was never going to win. And just to slightly rewrite it for a second, Stuart, imagine if we'd seen 2 rounds of the combat and Picard won each time. And the braggy guy, the alien's like, look, I told you I wasn't going to win, because Riker saves all of his tricks for the 3rd round, which puts Picard in a false sense of security. And then, just like Data, the 3rd round, it comes across and does cool things. I think that might have mimicked. That would have been a bit more symmetry and explained a bit more how and why. Because if you have one battle simulation, it's going to be on within 5 minutes, and that was all these 2 days of prep for 5 minutes. But if in many rounds where they swap out crews, swap out captains, like play around, they would have explained why they're wargaming, because it's not about the individual battle, it's about the experience of, now Geordie gets to be tactical officer, now Wesley gets to be, it's the learning of doing rather than actual doing. What do you think?
Too much for the episode. Would have been a good idea, but yeah.
Make it a two-parter. It's got ships. We're okay with that.
Rosetta Allen, $5. I gotta go. Hope you can make my stream later this week. Be blessed, Foley, and stay out of trouble at least a couple of minutes. I'll try.
Have your mats.
Iron Sniper puts in $1 or puts in $2. Iron Sniper 1 puts in $2. There you go. Love this episode and love the Constellation class. Yes. Go watch our episode on the Constellation class. Dave Stelzer, $2.
Thanks,
Bye-bye, Hathaway. Quote from the episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Olivia Julius, $5. I wonder why they didn't play the simulation on the view screen like Discovery did. Maybe like have it in the holodeck.
No, I like the real worldness of it. The fact they had to patch up a really damn damaged ship. Because your holodeck is a simulation. A reality is a reality. I like that. I love the concept of this. It would be nice. And there's a single episode concept. It's brilliant. It should have been like not necessarily in Voyager, but in DS9 or something. It would have been kind of cool to have like a Defiant version, same situation as a testing. Their first shakedown cruise is a war game, and they fight against a galaxy set, and you get to see all these cool shots. Just that idea of putting weapons down to laser quality and simulated damage. I love that idea. It's simple.
Well, Thanasis, Geronimois, whatever. Trekyards, a saucer. The Constellation has max 5 decks. ? No. You got to remember, it's not just the rim of the saucer that you can count decks on. It also does this on the top and bottom. So there are more decks.
Yeah.
I don't have the deck numbers in front of me.
Well, it's like the
Constellation,
Connie has 2 decks in the saucer and then a ton of decks either side. Yeah. I mean, deck 1 is basically just. I mean, deck 1 is one room.
It's the bridge.
It's the bridge, so very drastically.
And it's A deck.
Yeah.
B deck, C deck.
Hello, Becky. Becky's here.
Hi, Becky. Iron Sniper 1 puts in $5.
Cool name.
Well, and the Miranda class.
Sorry,
Thank you very much for that.
Sorry, Stuart.
Hopefully you enjoyed them.
Sorry you died. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Like I said, he's watched the episode on the Constellation class way too much and the Miranda class. So I apologized.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have to redo that one, the Constellation. With all them sexy visuals. So we got 111 people watching, but I want to see 80 likes. We're at 66. I think we need more. What do you think, Stuart?
Sure. Let's do it. Let's get to 85 likes. I want to pick 85.
Let's get to 310.
Well, eventually. We will.
Yeah.
The people rewatching.
Yes.
Pulaski is great. Says, I greet you, Trekyards. So it's Jill, using the name Pulaski is great. Says, I greet you, Trekyards. And earlier she was saying Jill was right, because of the Pulaski statement. So, hi, Jill.
That's funny.
Mike Bravo, $3. Riker says, that's Klingon Guile. Who is that? Riker says, that's Klingon Guile. Who is that?
Worf, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's get into it. Yes, we start out, we find out we're going to be doing war game exercises, and there's a Zakdor on board, who's a master strategist, Surma Karami. Karami.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, right away, like you see a shuttle too, as well. Not just another ship. You get a shuttle as well, which is great.
And they are good at reusing model shots, like the one at the end. Just reusing them and getting a bit more value out of it. Yeah, They do well in this episode. I love the fact that this race is the best strategists in the entire galaxy, and yet never seen again. Where were they in the Dominion War? Why didn't they reuse these aliens in the Dominion War? Best strategists anywhere. I always love when in Trek they say, this is the best, this is the strongest, this is the most powerful. It's like...
Actually, I think you see them one more time in TNG. I think there's another character that's one of this race. Don't quote me on that, but I think so.
But can we get a little bit of a well done to this character actor? Because always a memorable performance to me.
Yes. Yeah.
he's straddling that line about unlikable and just quirky. Like, you get why, and you know he's not being mean most of the time.
Yeah,
Good
I love how they
makeup.
stroll right by Worf and red-haired boy who's in this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Worf's like, they don't look impressive. He doesn't look impressive, and Data's like, for 9 millennia they have been regarded as having the greatest strategic minds in the galaxy. And Worf's like, so no one's willing to test that in combat? Well, exactly. I mean, yeah. Anyway, then Worf's like, then the reputation means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta love that. It's just the Klingon way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, yes, if you do have a reputation for being the best strategist in the galaxy, nobody's going to want to mess with you. Just like preemptively, they're not going to want to do anything. So
this episode is a testament to clever writing. It really is. It's someone thinking through. And Dan23 says, yes, these aliens appear in Unification Part 1 and 2.
Yes, I thought so.
There you go. Actually, I've met that redhead actor. He's one of the main people of 24, and I met him and I said, thanks. They did a really, really good job in 24. Although I found the scene kind of strange that Worf is saying he doesn't look impressive when we just had an episode where he's saying against Wesley for judging a race on their looks, and now he's doing the exact same thing. A little bit hypocritical, Worf, just because you don't think he's hot. You know what I mean? Shows that he can be. I think the writers didn't read that script and didn't know that was a line, because they wouldn't have, like, why would this writer read that script? You know, small, but a little bit against your own philosophy there, Worf.
Yeah.
But great line for sure. It didn't seem weird. They didn't take a turbolift, off the conference room. Like, they picked the one that was furthest away in the same complex. They had to walk across the entire set. Just made me laugh a little bit. I'm sure
you got to think too. He was coming aboard via shuttle, so the shuttle bays are all way back at the back of the ship. So yeah, all the other turbo shafts must have been full.
Well, yeah,
so I guess go right to the front of the.
It's a busy day. They're retrofitting the weapons. It's a busy day.
That was an excellent directorial choice, though, to just come out the front of the bridge, walk all the way around the bridge, pan by Worf and the other guy into the conference room. I thought that was a great,
Yeah. You get all the production value of your set in one shot.
Yeah.
And they're really good at that in this episode.
So we find out, yes, they're going to be using the 80-year-old Star Cruiser, the Hathaway, and Commander Riker is going to be commanding it. Find out they have 48 hours to get the vessel ready for the Enterprise attacks. And engineering is going to disable all the weapons and light the systems with modified pulse beam. Again, it's laser tag. All hits will be recorded electronically. And
those areas affected by the computer damage will be turned off and only turned on when the timer of when they should be repaired comes back, which I love. So they could have shot the bridge and the bridge would turn off. It's like, damn it!
Yeah, they said later they say there's damage to the rear part of the ship. Would be 3.6 days for repair.
That was a bit daft, but that's okay. But hey, they don't have Geordi anymore. That would have cut down to like 45 minutes if Geordi was there.
Yeah.
Now, can you explain to me, though, the Hathaway itself? In your mind, what's the history of the Hathaway? Because 80 years old, the ship is clearly damaged. I don't know, what's your take on the ship, why it's in the condition, how it got there? Like,
no idea. That's always confused me. Why wouldn't Starfleet pull it back, use, retrofit it, pull the parts out? Why is it there's a derelict starship floating around that anybody could basically go on board and fix?
Well, I didn't get the sense it was derelict. The fact that they know it's there, I assumed that another ship towed it there.
Maybe that's a possibility.
I doubt it would be derelict, because they also say that the ship's been stripped, so I assume it was a ship that was stripped for resources. I mean, it's got no dilithium, no antimatter. It's only got crystal shards, but it's still got power systems, so it can still, but it's not usable. So I'm assuming they kept it as like a mothball ship, and then it was only needed for war games. They tracked it there with a bigger ship, left it there last week. That's kind of what I assume. But why would they leave it that damaged unless it was an unexpected war game? And they said, what have we got? This ship. It has no weapons ability, but all it needs to be is lasers, focus energies. It needs to be real phasers. What do you think? Because that's how I always interpreted it.
No idea. I mean, that's one thing that's always bugged me about this episode a little bit is just what's up with the Hathaway.
But do you buy my answer? Do you like it?
I mean, I avoided answering the question for a reason. I don't want to say I don't like your idea. No, it's fine.
So you think
Yeah,
it was
never
actually a
really-
derelict? So you thought it was actually floating there?
Yeah, I just assumed it was in stationary orbit around this planet for whatever reason and had been there for a while. Because it hasn't been taken care of by Starfleet or the Starfleet Corps of Engineers. They haven't like had it in a facility because there's still shit all over the place. So,
Well, I assume they
um,
ripped stuff out and it was in like a corner of a space dock, and it was, it's not a priority, but it's there if you need it. It's a decommissioned ship in a lot. It's like a car in a lot. It's like this is an old vintage car. We keep it around just in case.
yeah, but I assume there's like a shipyard near this planet. Like we don't never get an indication of where the hell they are. I don't think they would necessarily tow a ship to this remote system. I think it's a very deep in the heart of Federation territory system, probably with the shipyard in the same
I can
solar
see that.
system.
I could see that.
And
So they just moved
you
from
know,
a shipyard. It's just like the system over to give space.
yeah,
I could see that. I like that. Yeah. Because that would also be why they went there. It's like, well, yeah, we've got an available Hulk. I mean, what do you guys think? Yeah.
But that being said,
oh.
then later the Ferengi come in, so it's.
But that would be problematic any which way. They're breaking treaties anyway. I mean, we'll get there. We get there, but it doesn't really make too much sense anyway. But I love the fact they reuse a constellation. Good choice.
Yeah. And Picard was originally hesitant to do this, and Karami guys don't want to tell me why. Well, Starfleet is not a military organization. Its purpose is to let the Romulans die. We can judge which species live and die. I mean, no, that's not what was said.
Stuart, you'd never say that in Star Trek. Come on.
Their purpose is exploration. Oh, I know that'll never happen. A line like that'll never be in Star Trek. I understand. Anyway, but then he said, and then I thought about it. But with the Borg threat, I decided that my officers and I need to hone our skills. And then Riker chimes in and says, yeah, I prefer brains over brawn as well. It's a small component in the makeup of what makes up a starship captain. But there are ways to, which I like. And I love how the conversation ends. It's like, do you care to surrender now, Captain? No.
Once again, the writer understands all three of these characters to a T. And the ideas of the Federation, and having a bit of fun with it. You don't need to have half these lines for it to be as good as it is, but you do when it is. No, it's great. It's a very, very good scene.
And this episode 2 is perfectly paced as well. There's no real slumps in any of the action. There's no the only one I would say that there might be a little bit is with Data, where he's in his quarters and he gets visited by Troy and then Pulaski.
But because it pays off so well that it works.
Exactly. It's a little bit of a slowdown in the pace, a little bit, but it's still well done. It
feels like a tacked on story to a certain point, but because the payoff is so strong, you kind of like, oh, okay. I still think the battle bit does let it down a little bit pacing, because they're just describing, not showing what could be a cool thing, and they don't. But the limited budget can't really get.
But again, limited budget, good writing, good direction.
Well, and the shots we do see are beautiful. I mean, they just did. Yeah. They used it when they had to, and they did. The amount of shots they have, even that one to Derelict shot of it flying is really good. And that's like a whole trying to spend money to get it made.
Pulaski is great. Says puts in $2. David Kemper wrote The Enemy and Stargate 1, Citizen Joe.
Oh well, there you go. Citizen Joe is very well written. Enemy is less so.
Well, there you go. It's Citizen Joe.
And the Enemy is the very first. Wait, hold on. The Enemy? You mean Enemies or Enemy Within? They're very different. Please clarify, Jill. But I will have to. I'll just look at his IMDb. Let's see, what has he written?
While you're doing that, I'll read the next super chat. Jarzy, $5. So the Zach Dorn, 24th century StarCraft 2 escort players that exports players that Starfleet entertains in war games, but ignores when an actual war happens. Yeah, the Zach Dorn are kind of assholes.
So, okay. He wrote The Enemy in TNG. That was a clarification. The Enemy is... Yes. Oh, we're about to hit that next season with the Romulan. Great episode, well written. He also wrote Star Trek Voyager Time and Again, which is that weird one where Janeway goes back in time in season 1 with Paris and they wear the bright orange. It's clever, but season 1 goofy. That's how I'd summarize that one. But he also wrote 16 episodes of Farscape, and actually some really good. Wow, some really good ones. Wow, some of the best ones actually. Jeez. Wow, you wrote the best 2 and 3 parter. Cool.
There you go.
That's good. I like
It
that.
shows.
It does show. And then he also wrote. Well, he's actually producer on PC with Farscape Wars. Producer on all of Farscape. He wrote Citizen Joe and There But the Grace of God SG1, which is the Mirror Universe, that's another good one as well. He's also on Sequest. Yeah, talented guy. Well done him.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Davies, though, puts in 2 pounds. I love this episode because we saw a new warp core. Yeah, different warp core, which is very similar to what the Defiant actually has, or the the Defiant and the Valiant.
Well, it's kind of very similar. I think it's like, let's take the TMP design thing with a thing and then make it much smaller, which is what Defiant is, just modernized. But yeah, the characterization here is brilliant. Next scene, though.
Ah, yes. You get a crew complement of 40 personnel.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, Riker, take your pick.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, I thought you'd be assigning them. It's like, nope. And I love how Riker goes and scoops up like all the best people. The whole majority. Like, you can't take Data. Data has to stay, which is fine. But yeah, let's scoop the chief engineer and the tactical guy. I mean, fair is fair, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a ship that beats it by a ton. Because Constellations were never that powerful. Like, they're not heavy cruisers. Even at their era, they could be defeated by a Connie, I'm sure. But hey, he doesn't take Pulaski, though. Not all the best officers. Well,
they won't need medical personnel, so.
Depends how real it gets. Now, I did find it odd that the visitor guy was surprised that Riker would. I think the vibe is that it's a test for Picard. Riker being there, like you said, he wasn't necessarily intended to be picked. And so now Picard's put Riker on the same pedestal of, we are both testing each other. This is an equal opportunity. The other guy's like, no, this is a test for you, Picard. And he's like, no. This is a team thing. So I think that's where that line starts to come in. Because obviously Riker would pick his own team. Of course he would. That should, you know what I mean? You'd think that'd be obvious if he knew that was the situation he was going into. Yeah.
And Pulaski here, I love how the guy's all kind of snarky, and she's like, he needs an attitude adjustment. Which it's fair.
I think I said out loud, you should know. I mean, it's funny for that character to be saying it, considering some of her early lines. But again, she's got a lot better. Well, I find it funny that he's not even out of the room yet before she starts slagging him off. Like, his legs are literally walking into the transporter thingy as she's saying, you know what, he's a bit of a dickhead. Well, like, it's such timing.
Then it said, they're replete with self-assuredness and confidence, which is seldom not deserved. And then we find out he's a 3rd level grandmaster at the game of strategy.
And Picard does not look impressed. He's like,
cool. Don't care. Don't care. That's like I'm a grandmaster at Connect 4.
Well, no, let's be honest. Connect 12. The real pro version. And so we get the first of the recruitment scenes, and I love this one to bits. Walks in. I think they both know what's going to happen before, like, as he walks in, but they play the game, and he's like, "Oh, you heard about this thing? Oh, yeah, and we should win, yeah. You interested? Packed already. Good.
Yeah. And there's some good tech stuff here for Trekyards, because he says, "Yeah, I've researched those old Avidyne engines. They are archaic by our standards, very touchy. I think it's kind of a waste of time.
Yep.
We'll be outmanned, outgunned, out-equipped. What else have we got?" Yeah.
No, I love the end, because you can just tell these people are friends, like real friends. They are so comfortable in this. Yeah. It just comes off the page, or the page onto the screen. Yeah.
And I want to apologize for saying the waste of time thing is the next scene.
Yes.
My notes were.
That's okay. But speaking of the next scene, you have Worf making a boat.
Well, okay. First of all,
okay.
The D7 on his desk.
Yeah.
That's the exact same D7 I have upstairs. It's the Franklin Mint one. It stands the same. Everything's the same. So I have that. And he's making some kind of boat or warship. And here's the door chime. And very good.
And first time we're seeing Worf's quarters. And there is that seat. I was impressed, right? Because that's money spent. It might be a reuse from another episode, but that's like his definitive weird-ass seat. This is a weird but great scene, and again, it's just understanding the Worf perspective. You know, it's character thing, character thing, character thing, boom. You know, putting the thing in his drawer or in the bin, I'm done. It's just, it's good. It's good.
Chris Valdez says Barge of the Dead. Maybe it is.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
But yeah, am I disturbing you? And it's funny because no. Never mind. This is an episode I saw on TV. Never mind. Because there's Booby Trap where it's like the ship in a bottle. What? Has nobody ever built ships in a bottle, Mr. Worf?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't play with boys. That's the blooper for that. But yeah, I don't play with toys. So I thought if that came first, this would make sense. But I had just seen that on TV. That's why I thought we might have just seen it. I'm wrong.
Yeah, some time travel there, Stuart. Time travel. But I love the idea of that he's making this very fine crafted little thing. Like this big man, strong way. It's nice. Yeah. I like that. I kind of wish they'd push the reverse psychology a little bit more here. Because it almost feels a full scene. It's so close to being like, oh, there's no point. Yes, there is. Are we not going to win? Maybe.
And I want to make a small point here. He's building a model, right? Turn on a fucking light. I build models. You want to have it lit well. That being said, there is a lamp right there in the scene behind Riker. Wonder if they had it on and the lighting was just awful. So last minute they just decided not to, because the room is totally dark. You don't build a model in the dark.
Well, to be fair though, Klingons have exceptional eyesight.
Sure. Ozzy Medeiros, $5. Captain Foley doesn't like to lose. That's right, I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where he kind of says to him, Worf says, I think it's a waste of time.
Yep.
And Riker says, outmanned, outgunned, out-equipped. What else do we have? Yeah.
That's good.
Great.
And it's I wish it went one step further. Worf saying, "You'd be a fool to be part of that crew." Well, Mr. Worf, I want you part of my crew. Yes, sir. Like one more line about it.
Who's more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
Yeah, exactly. It's so close, but it is nice. But I would think though that Worf might expect this. Like it feels like a thing that he would do, but he definitely doesn't think this. I like the fact that he's also off duty while a war simulation thing's happening. I guess the ginger guy is like, "Oh yeah, I'm chief of security today, Mr. Worf. You have a holiday break."
They have 2 days. And they haven't started yet. So
it's just funny the tactical episode. And he's in his quarters making a model. Like it's a funny juxtaposition of where you think he's gonna be. He's just hanging out. But yeah, good scene. And again, these are all character moments. They're character scenes. These add to the characters so well. And this shows that you can have a relatively cheap episode, bottle show, good character stuff, good drive. Well done. And Riker, hey, what a good lead. He's fun. He's enthusiastic. He makes you like him. He supports his crew. Good man.
He's jovial, which comes in important later.
Yeah.
But he's not done selecting his people. He goes up to the bridge, and he asks if he can take Wesley on board for educational observation. And Wesley's all happy. So, yay.
There's some lovely looks either at camera or away from camera in this one where people get to express. And Colin Barrett has a great little line saying, "Klingons do not need light. Light is for cowards."
It's true. It's much more honorable to find your parts that you drop on the floor in the dark.
This model is 10 times as honored.
It's true. But then we get a game of... Or Riker asks... What's his name there? Would love to play a game of Strategium with him. So...
Yeah, and it's nice.
The guy's like, sure.
Yeah, he's like, you're not going to win. He's like, well, we'll see. Could be fun. He's like, well, we'll see. And then he's a snide comment, and Riker's like, oh, okay. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
And Geordi's like, so you're going to win. So you're going to last long. It's like, nope. Just an honor to play the guy because he's the Grand Master. So
how great is that as a concept? It's like, hey, if you could play chess with Stephen Hawking, you could say you play chess with, or like, you know, if you could go to a model building club with not Tesla, SpaceX guy,
Elon Musk.
Yeah, like that's worth doing just cause, you know. No, I love it, and it's again a fun character beat, and it's obviously a setup for a later scene, but you really didn't need this, and it adds. It's just good. It's good stuff.
Now we're down in 10 forward. It's time for the game of Strategium. And this a brief exposition of the game, which is good. It can last over 1,000 moves against an opponent of equal skill.
And they're like, but he's not though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Instant dismissal.
I love how Worf's like helping him hook up Riker. And he's like, I've wagered on in the ship's pool that you will get him past the 6th plateau, and if I don't, I will be irritated.
Good stuff. I bet every actor said, this is a good script. I bet they all were happy, except maybe Troy, but she still does enough. It's just not necessarily the most characterful stuff. She's more just doing her job. But again, small... We could say the same about Geordie, possibly, but, just feels more interesting.
And then they get the Data saying, I don't understand the human need to compete. Well, it's just to keep us sharp. What better way to weigh our qualities than against someone else? Good conversation.
Well, in a situation where you don't control the rules, once you got an opponent who you don't know in a game you don't know, then you're being tested in a way you can't predict and have not prepared for. And I gotta say, these holograms do hold up. They always did. It's a sleek, simple... come on, chess, checkers, really simple graphics in terms of like what is on the board. This is simple, but you understand it. Very easy to understand. Very good. I think for the time, this is expensive. I know this is the remaster, but like a gently ambitious shot, and Riker loses within a minute, basically. Oops.
Yeah, the final score was like 100-23. So
yeah.
But Pulaski's like, maybe you should challenge him to a game, Data. Deflate his ego a little bit, because Pulaski's all about like deflating this guy's ego. She doesn't like this guy, which is fair enough.
She reminds her of himself. Him of herself.
Yeah.
At the start. Yeah. Deborah says, who here would want to play that game? If I understood it, I'd like to play it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a tile game, but... And to be fair, someone said in VR. Yeah, in VR I'm sure you could somehow do it. I mean, it'd be kind of fun. The next sensation sweeping the nation is... Stratagema.
Well, they should have that on the next Bridge Crew. You should be able to go down to 10 forward, play that, and play the game from the one with Leffler, the little things on your eyes. It'd be cool to have that in VR too.
Oh, yeah. And such will start the apocalypse. But I like how genuinely, even though Riker knew he was going to lose, his pride is like... You know what I mean? I like that. It's sort of gentle, but it's like, I thought I was going to do better. That's just me being me. And honestly, I think that moved him to fight better in the actual battle, because he just lost. He just had something to prove. Especially against the guy. They never showed Riker fight this guy in terms of verbally, really. It was always that guy doesn't like Riker. But yeah, he just got beaten by the guy that doesn't like him, so he wants to show him off. So I think actually that could have been almost used more, but it is there, which is nice.
The thing is too with the game, it feels like a button smasher. It feels like Mortal Kombat, where you just hit buttons. Yep. If you watch Sylvia and I play, you just smash buttons. But it looks like you just like faster you can move your fingers. But I'm sure there's like they're each sliding those balls around. So I think that's what it is. But it's just it'd be interesting to see how it plays.
I assume it's like speed checkers when you can move like every piece at the same time and everything's moving all the time. I find it interesting you mentioned how many times you can click your fingers. The fact that one guy has 100 and Riker has 23, and those are moves. Those aren't scores, those are moves. That implies that, like, the guys are just much faster. So Riker is just not even good at the game, let alone capable of fighting.
It could be scores, though. It could be like getting the thing to the other side of the board, and the one guy did it 100 times, and because Riker did more than 23 movements, I think. But yeah. Jeff Jacobs, $2. We got our Hyundai. God, here we go. We can do 150. Hashtag make Jeff pay. Hashtag make. Hashtag MCS. I don't know what that is. Oh, make Cap say. Jesus Christ. Thanks, Jeff.
And would you like to just reiterate briefly, as we like to get at least one each live, what joining the channel is, briefly?
I already kind of did that when you're sharing, but joining the channel is a great way to help out as well. It's kind of a monthly thing. You click that join button down by the subscribe button, or if you hit the $sign on anything but an iOS device, you just click join, and you can join the channel at the rank of captain or commander, captain or admiral, and then you get bonus emojis and get badge beside your name, and your name we'll call you out in videos and stuff because your name's highlighted. You're a member of the channel. You're supporting us. You're helping us out. So, you kind of take priority over other people. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just to say, we've got a great little joined group, but we can always do with some more. Seriously, find the Hathaway. It would have been nice, small thing, if Picard had been like, Constellation class. Because you can kind of tell they don't know what ship they're fighting in the episode. They didn't pick.
Yeah.
But you would think he has so much personal knowledge for the ship and love for it. It would have been nice to have one little bit.
There would have been even one line saying, I know those ships very well, and there's this faulty whatever.
Yes, exactly.
Data, can we extort that weakness?
If Riker thinks he can use the quadratic relays, no, I know those relays. They won't go past 4 parsecs. Some bullshit like that. So, but I guarantee they didn't know what they're going to use. And that's fair. That's fair. But it would have been nice because it's such an important ship for him. And it's the second time we're seeing this. We've only seen it a few times. But good. Glad it wasn't an Excelsior. Definitely glad it wasn't a Miranda. Great choice to have this ship. Because it's just nice to sit back and kind of in its glory. They have the miniature. Why not use it? Why not use it?
Yeah. But they beam over, and I love seeing this because they power on the systems, and you see the old, my favorite version of Elcar's, the movie era. I think it's great. And I do like the layout of this bridge. I mean, you've got a captain's chair, and right beside him is, I would assume, helm, because there is a tactical station behind them in a later scene. But probably helm and tactical in one console, right beside the captain, which is kind of a neat setup.
I think the ship's a little bit too big for that, especially as a long-range explorer. My only problem with I agree the bridge works well, especially later on when they're kind of in the thick of it. But in particular, when they walk in, now that we've seen the season and seen the redress of this room, I know exactly that corridor, that corner, that walk-in, like it's so blatant. And this obviously they've long since lost the movie bridge because that's what they started to use the Stargazer stuff at. This is not that. This is a separate room that was parts were taken from that could be salvaged and battle bridge and stuff. But this is not that bridge because it's got those upper parts. But it does to me. All I see is they just put some consoles in that room. So it doesn't really work as well for me because I know exactly the layout now. We just saw it last week with the Klingon lady. I don't know about you, but isn't that forward console? Didn't they just move the Enterprise D1 and put some egg cartons on top of it?
Yeah. Well, packing styrofoam, but
yeah. I don't know why you'd put packing stuff on it.
It looks cool.
It does.
It would be a bitch to dust, though. I'd like to be the cleaning guy on the Hathaway.
I'm sure they've got like a phaser that burns up dust.
That'd be a great idea, actually.
It's not a very dusty bridge. To be fair, there is shit everywhere, but it's not dusty. Except those damn dirty sheets.
Yeah, and the console wasn't covered by sheets when they came in. So, Dimas Alves, $5. Agreed on the ship choice was a good. The ship choice was a good one. The bridge looks so cool, and when they did the TOS sound, classic.
Yes,
there's so much. I love it. I just love it.
Because this front view, it works so well. Side view not so well. Front view really well. It's just simple. It's clean, and in fact, where on earth do these weird chairs come from? The two back, because they're definitely Alien Ship of the Week ones, but they're very. They're making the ship feel so rustic. I guess they could be arguing they may strip the upholstery off, because they are not standard issue. 80 years or nothing, those are not what you'd be sent out in space with, I'm sorry. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but, I mean, stripped down they actually look like old milk crates, plastic milk crates. That they've cut the sides off. The ones you store records in if you have records.
Oh, okay.
You can kind of see things like that when you look at TNG, and I love that. But it's a lot harder to find the items than in Picard, where they just go and buy something at the store and literally use it one for one.
No, and then in several locations. Although two really great comments in the chat. Thribis says the air filters will probably prevent dust. Brilliant. Great.
You would think so, but in Star Trek 2, Kirk actually looks for dust.
Wow.
He rubs his steering wheel on the console and looks for dust. And as a kid, I said, why would there be dust in space? Because you have air. And my brothers are like, well, it's still dust. It's human skin. It's flaking off. It'll get around a room. So as a part of an inspection, he didn't take out like a white glove like they usually do, but he still did the finger rub. So the dust thing,
Stuart.
Arguments could be made for and against.
Stuart. Dan 23, space dust.
Space dust.
Not
yes.
dust, it's space dust. Different properties. Another great, well, two more great, again, you guys have some great comments. Colin Barrett says, they found a use of season 1 captain's chair. The one with the flip out things. Yes! I knew it was one of those things, but yes. And Dan 23 again says, in the real world, the Type 2 phaser was called the Dust Buster.
There you go.
Beautiful.
That's perfect.
And this is such a simple but effective bridge, and it makes you realize, yep, just redress a room. I mean, why didn't they even, it's not that difficult.
But do you like the arrangement of it with the captain's chair right beside? I think that's kind of a cool setup.
If it was the size of Scotty's ship, the Genolan, a small ship, yes. Not for a big ship like this. That saucer's is massive. You would need... Not for this size of ship, no. It's like you wouldn't buy this for the Excelsior, would you?
Well,
it's too
the
small.
Thing that bothers me is we never see the view screen like side of this bridge. I would like to see the rest of the bridge.
If there was like 2 more consoles, because I could buy another console in the front, like a central one. I mean, yeah, why not?
Because it could be that this was retrofitted as well as a science vessel, so it's got science stations or lab things at the front there. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the way it's configured, it could easily. I mean, it's been 80 years. Look at the Enterprise A. How many bridges does that have? So
exactly.
This could have been the last gen. It was right at the edge of being useful as they threw in. They streamlined it so they needed half the crew. Blah blah blah. I do think though that when you look at the back of the bridge, I'm still looking at my picture in the live. The 3 top big screens. I think that doesn't feel as genuine, because what are those trying to tell us? Like, it's a lot of information. It's also no information. So it's similar information.
I would assume they are reconfigurable screens. They can put different monitors up there, like swap them out.
Yeah.
Well, not physically, but like, and that's just the startup grid. That's like all systems.
It's like the Windows logo spinning.
Yeah, because they're all cut and placed of each other. Unfortunately, they're all the same pretty much. A few different colors here and there, but the shapes and the layout is all the same on all of them. So, it's just a boot up sequence. It's fine.
Okay. And do you think there's 6 panels there? Do you think each one will be a separate panel? Like, it's not one big screen; it's 6 smaller screens. I assume is what you're. Or I mean, it's all one screen, but it's designed to have 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or more. Like you could shrink stuff down or whatever.
Yeah.
Ideally, even on the TOS bridge, I would assume that's a thing with those small monitors at the top. You can put multiple displays in there if you need to. So.
But speaking of small things, introduce the next scene. We have the first warp core in a long time. Actually, what do you think?
It's kind of neat. Like I said, it's very reminiscent of what we see later in the Defiant. I think they actually used this set for that, to be honest. But I think it's all right. It feels better than what we see in Discovery for the Enterprise. Same.
Oh, that's embarrassing. I was wondering the entire time, which set is this? It's a pretty big set. I assume it's the gymnasium / shuttle bay, but with different walls, because the wall flats is super boring and grey.
Mm-hmm.
That feels a bit, I'm not going to say lazy, but there's no detail there. And you've seen how cool the engineering rooms are in the past. I don't buy for a second there's generic silver wall flats. So I'm wondering, what room is it? I guess just the gymnasium. They just put more wall flats to kind of make it a smaller room, I guess?
Oh, maybe. I would assume so.
Because it's a 2-floor. But they did build the engine from scratch. Like, that's a fresh piece. It's really simple, but it's so recognizable. But again, smaller ship. We saw the Enterprise A's. We saw, we know how big those should be. It's a comparable ship size. I don't really... Yeah. If this was a much smaller ship, yes. Doesn't work for this size, but it's cool enough. It's cool enough.
Yeah. I love when Geordi opens his little case there and you see the thing above him. Looks like there was some kind of explosion or something, because there's like imperfections in the thing. Which are quite obvious.
Yeah.
So just wear and tear, I guess. But seeing the registry lights come on,
Yeah.
USS Hathaway, so nice.
Yeah, and they do good miniature work here.
Yeah.
I
And then
mean,
the
yeah,
engines flare up.
yeah. And look how good Riker looks in command on a starship on a bridge.
Yeah, it's when I took this screen cap, I was like, this is the one I would have used for the thumbnail. You can see the Hathaway in the background.
Wow.
Then I saw the one you used, and I'm like, okay, use the reverse shot of the Stargazer with the Enterprise behind it. That's what I would have done. Oh. Just saying. But yeah, looks good.
So we open up in the middle, and we see there are still shards left with a very cheap looking. You know what this is?
Yeah.
This is probably a refit warp core, smaller, simpler. They compressed it all. That's why I'm going to say this isn't production used. This is a refit because they want to make as much of the ship as space as possible. So they put in a easier to use warp core that could still function the same. That's what I'm going to bet this is.
Yeah, but they have a few dilithium crystals left, but no antimatter to fuel the drive, so they're not going to be able to do much.
And then you wonder, well, what do they expect the ship to do then? I mean,
maneuvering thrusters.
Yeah, is like, why not give them any antimatter? Why not the Enterprise give them like half a tank when they get there? At least give them a fighting chance.
Anyway, back aboard the Enterprise, and they having a conversation with Riker, basically saying, "You have this much time left. Good luck, whatever." And then Picard takes off because he's kind of pissed at the guy because he's kind of sending asshole to Riker. And then Pulaski chimes in and says, "Oh, Commander Data was telling me he wanted to play you in Stratageum." And Data's like, "No." He's like, "That's interesting. Why would I wish to play against the computer?" And of course, Pulaski being Pulaski, I don't blame you. It's not fun to go into a game knowing you're going to lose. I just loved how she goaded him into it, and how when Data's like, "Do you accept?" and she's like, "Please." That was kind of a cute moment, I thought. And his reaction to it.
I wouldn't even say goading. I think they're friends at this point.
No, she's goading the other guy.
Okay.
Grand Master into it. But where she says, "Please," I thought was really kind of a cute moment.
And then Data's like, I would love to, basically.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what he was thinking in that moment. It's like, I guess she has a good reason. I'll trust her.
She's being nice to me for once.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll take advantage of this.
She uses me to defeat a Grandmaster, you know? No, it's good. It does feel a little bit like a side quest when you watch the episode the first time. Like, it doesn't mean too much. I guess they had to think of a reason to include... I mean, the guy's put on this makeup on. Why would he not be, given time?
Well, they mention, so you'll be playing for the honor of your ship as he leaves.
Yeah.
And actually, it's your reputation on the line. That's what was said. So, yeah. Anyway, so now we're back aboard the Hathaway, and we got this lady here with them talking about. I know the security protocols of the Enterprise. Obviously, they haven't changed them because that would be the first thing I would do as Captain Picard, but that's okay. I am going to project a false sensor image. What about the view screen? And the view screen too. Unless somebody goes and runs up to a window.
They haven't got any windows on the bridge, Stuart.
You were waiting for that, weren't you? With the
But they have got windows in 10 forward, so I could imagine someone calling to the bridge. There is like Geordie's looked at stuff that if they knew. But that's if that facade went on longer, whatever. What do you think of this as an idea then?
It's a good idea. False sensor images are false. I mean, you got to think for like modern naval war games and stuff. False
radar
signatures and stuff like that. Yeah, to kind of throw them off, get them focused on something else. So it's a good idea. But
see, my problem is that it is cheating, and it's not that you don't have to play fair in war. That's fine. But only because he's the tactical officer of this starship, he can use this strategy. In any other situation, this is not a usable strategy, which means that he is going outside the rules and using an advantage only he has. I wish they hadn't have made it, I'm blatantly cheating, completely flaunting the rules, and honestly, it's more like the Kirk maneuver, a reprogram. It's like saying, you know what, Commander, let me hack the ship and turn off its weapons. That's totally in a good spirit, and I hope, and Riker would say, no, can we just do something else instead? I could do this instead. Like, if he's already accessed it, he could just disable the ship. What's the... You know what I mean? It's very unfair and daft, and I would give him a talk down for it, because it makes the game a bit of a mockery. It would have been nice if he had said, I know the ship's sensor frequencies, like, I know how to trick them using our deflector, so all you have to know is a scan of the ship to know a weakness. Like, he doesn't have to use the codes, because codes is massive cheating. And like, is it if you have to win by cheating, is there really a sense of victory?
He doesn't need the codes though, because later he does it to the Ferengi ship without having their codes.
How?
We're gonna get there. Because had to wrap up the episode.
I don't like that bit.
I don't mind it so much. I mean,
it doesn't make sense. The whole point of this scene is to say how they do it, and they don't need this to do it. So what's the point? I don't like it.
Anyway, Matthew K, though, throws in $10.
Oh!
Just got here, and I've always loved this episode, and I'm excited to see what you guys have to say. Well, I'm off to the beginning of the stream. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Matthew, when you caught up. As you can tell, we really like this one, so
enjoy.
Hopefully we do you justice.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciated.
And if you want a super chat for things we say in the past, we'll read them out and you'll catch up.
And Shade X27, the Ferengi password was password. No, it was 0000.
Well, it was greed is good, or just like, that's funny. No, I like that password. Hey, if they'd said that, that'd have been funny. But Miss Wolf had to do that. Their password was password in Ferengi. Really? Yes. But anyway.
I selected forgot password, hacked into their email, changed it. That's how we did it.
Thank God their Wi-Fi password wasn't there, so we get their Wi-Fi and then get... That's great. We'll get them when we get there. I do like this lady. I like how she performs this line. I wish she was in it more.
Yeah.
They like their guest stars here, but they don't like to give them much to do. But anyway, I don't approve of this technique. It feels so disingenuous. And I think it's the Kirk maneuver. You know, applaud it for whatever, but it doesn't represent... It's a not honourable move, and it defeats the purpose of the game.
See, I've made that argument before over the years that Klingons wouldn't do certain things because it's not honourable in battle, but winning the battle is the honourable thing to do.
Yeah.
That's however you got to do it.
It's more the Starfleet way I would be more worried about than the Klingon way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Klingons... I mean, he's very clever. Now, if they had said... Now, add one more layer. If he had said... I know they've changed the passcodes, but I think I can hack them using a clever workaround. Using computer hacking, that's different, because you can do that with, like, you know, with ships in type of battles. You can use ECH, you can jam and hack and do things. That would have been different.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But we're down in engineering now, and we got Wesley and Geordi looking at the casing. The casing's still smooth. Everything's good.
I love him saying that, because it's just like it's a thing saying, I know this is a bit of a shitty set, because it's so smooth. I love that. It's like, there isn't meant to be a detail here. It's such a nice little... I like it. It's good.
And then he's got an idea, so he leaves. And Worf's talking to the lady, and she's like, oh, how do I repatch this? Where do I get the fiber cable from? Anywhere. Again, great scene. I love the look on her face as he walks away. She's like, bitch.
You know what should have happened, though? The panels, the whole bridge, lights go off. He's like...
Yeah, the panel beside them just goes out.
Well, we didn't need that panel anyway. No, it's another great line. It's another great scene. And it's true. That's why it's all damaged. Although, boy, if she has to manually pluck out the little wires to refeed, that's going to suck.
Anywho, Wesley comes up and asks for permission to go back to the Enterprise because he needs to shut down an experiment. Is it that important, Wesley? Well, it's my final grade in plasma physics. All right, cool. Go do that. Because Riker's been helping him with his studies. That was made clear, like, beginning of this season or end of last season. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He's responsible for that. So that's one of the reasons he brought him over here, too, for observational learning.
Which
so
makes a lot of sense.
It's kind of a nice tie-in.
Yeah. Yeah, it works better on this viewing. I never really got that from the first time. I just thought I almost thought he wanted to cheat using his tech, but he didn't know.
No.
I do kind of think that I would have got a sense that he was being a bit on the off. Like, you just happened to forget about an experiment. You just happened to. Really? And you have to go back right now,
because he was on the bridge when Riker came in and said, I want him for the thing. He'd be like, he's excited. It makes sense that he would forget something like that.
Yeah, but you could have
I'd totally buy it.
But I would have thought if it was his final grade, he would have gone straight to engineering, turned it off, blah, blah, blah.
No, I wouldn't. I would have completely forgot about it. I got more exciting stuff on my mind. Just saying.
But I like the fact that the game master guy does say, okay, yeah, I've no objection as long as he's monitored and he just goes straight to and doesn't talk to anybody. At least they address that. I like that.
And he sends this guy, which is funny. Oh my god.
His patience level is 1.
I know.
Of 100.
I know. It's like, yeah. Look at that hot chick over there. Oh,
yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta follow her. I was gonna ask her out on a date. You gonna be done here? Oh, it's a very dangerous experiment. I gotta beam it out into space. I'll leave it particleized. It's fine. Yeah, let's go do that. It's like, goddamn, it doesn't play well. What else are you supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be up on the bridge. So you got permission to leave. It's not like you're away from your post without permission and need to get back quickly. I don't know. It just played kind of stupid.
I would love to have heard the direction in this scene because it's such a weird choice. Wesley's perfect. He's great. And the smart at the end is brilliant. But this guy, it's very, very strange because it makes him seem honestly a bit stupid. But I like the idea to go a little bit more extreme than you said. He sees a girl and he's like, and then she gives him a wink and he's like, ooh, when Kathy winks, she wants some. So are we done? Are we done? Are we done? Yep, great. All right, you got your way out? Yeah, okay. Bye, Wesley. Hi, Kathy. Like, if that'd been the Orville approach, or the Star Trek Beyond approach, because everyone's shagging in Star Trek Beyond. But it's it's very strange. But I guess you've got to have him be really not the hell caring to not pay attention.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. And to give that guy, it's just weird. But Wesley's great.
Yeah. But then we get Geordi over on the Stargazer scanning a thing. The beam's in. You hear it. It's fully materialized and it just rocks over, and that's what Geordi turns around. I thought that was great. He looks around like, huh?
Yeah.
No, that was good. That was well played. And then the next scene, that's what I would have used for the thumbnail. That's a cool. I'm putting that as a wallpaper, man. That's awesome. I know you can do better.
I think I tried it and it wasn't as wide screenable because, as you know, I got to turn a 4:3 into a wide.
That's true, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's a cool shot.
Yeah.
That's a cool shot.
I even had to Photoshop, if you look carefully, the other shot to actually bring the Enterprise closer. So I had to do some. I don't know if you noticed in the thumbnails, but I often have to change the hairline. Yeah. You gotta make it work, haven't you? But yeah, I do kind of wish though. I remember there being more shots of this ship. There is actually very few shots of this ship. I remember more, so I was a little bit. And no impulse drives. Impulse drives aren't on.
Well, yeah, they're there. They're just not on. They're not lit.
Never noticed that
weird.
Before. So you would think you wouldn't need the warp
I didn't notice
grills.
it either, so you just pointed it out. So
because you wouldn't need the warp grills, would you? Then there's no warp drive. You would need the impulse. That's weird.
True enough.
Come on, Remastered Team. You know who you are. There's a reason for that. I know you're watching.
We're gonna bust you up. Wait a minute. That leads into the next scene.
Well, that was good. That was good, Stuart. Hey, hold on. That was good. Points.
Thanks, man.
Points for actual humour.
That's why they have these.
He earned them with his jokes. Hey, come on, guys. Super chat. Can I get one super chat for his good jokes? I like that joke.
Yep. All right. So yeah, Pulaski whispers something to Data as he's getting ready, and she walks back, stands behind him, and he says to Troy, he's like, "What does she mean by bust him up?"
Yep.
Means take care of him quickly. So yeah, I thought it was great. And then what? Then all of a sudden, red-haired boy is down here now doing this. Did he go back to the bridge, or was he in a hurry to do this? Was he supposed to be the judge, the referee for the Strategium competition? And so he was like, Wesley, hurry up. I got to be down in 10 forward. Because that would make a little bit of sense. It's a scene right afterwards, so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, there's a weird sense of when is it taking place. It's obviously after shift.
This is over 2 days, so.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably traveling at warp and zooming around. I don't know.
Traveling a warp and zooming around.
Oh, I guess it's earlier. Yeah, they're already here, aren't they? But yeah, I guess they're just waiting because they don't have to repair the ship, do they? They're just sitting for 48 hours while Riker's doing stuff. But yeah, the game, it's fun. You get a much more unique sense of the game and a great still, because I didn't even really see the balls, honestly. I thought it was just like 3D plates getting whatevered.
No, there's little balls that are moving inside each one. And Data loses 81 to 100.
Okay.
So, and then the guy's like, a computer beaten by flesh and blood. Pulaski freaks out.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, I'm at your disposal for a rematch.
Yeah. But he's really like, you can try again if you want, Mr. Robot Man. It's great. It's great.
Area 51 throws in $2.
Thank you.
And Worf just ripped out the stereo system. Yes.
No.
That was a while ago. With
Mr. Worf, why can't we hear any sound? Oh, sorry, sir.
Carlo Albanese puts in £2. Fantastic episode, and Picard is great in this. Yep. And Super Coops puts in £2. Super chat from Super Coops, so I don't get busted up. Thank you, Super Coops. Appreciate that. That was for the busted up joke. Or it was a busted up segue. It wasn't really a joke.
It was a funny segue. It was a funny way. Or seg-y.
That was not funny. So you don't take that super chat back, Super Coops, for that bad joke.
Can they do that? Or
you can cancel it on there.
You have to super chat again to say I refuse to do not read out the super chat I just did. So 2 super chats. See, 2 super chats. Super chat the super chat. Yeah. So if you don't want to super chat twice.
Yes. What? Anyway, so yeah, Pulaski's like, how can you lose? You're supposed to be infallible. Apparently, I'm not.
Yeah, it's nice. And it's I like the humbling factor. We'll get into that later, but the genuine surprise. 'Cause I think Data went in thinking, yeah, I mean, I'll win.
It's cake.
Yeah.
If it's speed, I got the speed. If it's computing power, I got the computing power.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next shot is really well. Again, this was well directed, this episode, because they focus on Commander Riker's chair. They pan up, and
Okay.
the guy kind of says something snarky about Riker.
Yep.
I didn't actually write it down.
Yeah.
And Picard's like, "Would you come with me? I'd like to speak to you privately."
And
And
you
he
get
goes,
a
"What
nice
is your problem with Riker?"
in a nice long shot as well. It's a nice
Yeah.
continuous take.
Yeah. What is your problem with Riker? I find Riker wanting. I checked his records and his joviality, all this, whatever. Anyway, I didn't write it all down. Just say. But Picard's like, yeah, well, his joviality is how he gets his crew to follow him, and it's what makes him him.
What makes him such a good leader?
Well, I can see this other guy's point of view though, because I mean, Riker's turned down how many commands by this point?
Did he mention that though?
I don't think so.
Because I just watched it and I thought he was going to. I thought he said, a captain doesn't want to be a captain. He's shown himself. Three, and Picard would be like, well, he done a 3rd command offer? Oh, he did. When was that? 2 weeks ago. Really? I don't think they actually mentioned that. I was thinking that. I don't think they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being jovial seems odd to me. I mean, Kirk's service record. He was quite jovial. I mean, Sisko at the start had some jovial bits. Not too much. His wife got murdered. But, sometimes there's some jovial stuff. Although I find it kind of funny that and it stands out to me a little bit, that when Picard says his joviality, whatever, makes him such a good captain, or potential captain, I'm thinking, you're the most anti-jovial captain. So they respond to jovialness, but I won't use that at all in my style. I'm the opposite, but they respond to me as well. Felt a little bit like he didn't quite get that he's saying, like, the opposite to me also works. I just choose to be not jovial and somber.
He's smart enough to know there's different command styles. That's just not his, but it works for Riker. Yeah. So
I just find it funny. Yeah. He's a little bit tone deaf in a sense.
A little bit. And I got to point out too, there's no fish in the tank. I think this is after the original fish died because somebody left or unplugged the heater. Yeah. There's no fish in that tank. So I don't know why they focused on it like they did, but anyway. Zeraxis throws in $2. Looking good, guys. Keep it up. Thank you, Zeraxis. We appreciate it. So now we get Data, and he is down in his quarters running scans, And I just put Data is overreacting because Troy comes in and tries to talk to him about his failure and how he removed himself from bridge duty. And yeah. Anyway, kind of a silly scene. That's why I just said Data is overreacting, because this is where, if anything, if I have any critiques about this episode, it's this scene and the scene with Pulaski. Because first of all, Data's quarters are kind of boring. And
well, yeah, but he wouldn't be the one to put stuff on the walls.
I know that. Later he does. Like, he's got some other stuff hanging up, but
he's growing as a person.
I'm just saying, it's not the best set piece. It's very bland when they focus on the other characters. With Data, you got the cool schematic of the ship behind them, which I love, because I love ship schematics and Alcars. But anyway, this is kind of where it just hits a little bit of a slump, just for a second.
Well, the problem is, it's an interesting concept. There's 3 scenes just to prove the point.
Yeah.
The intro, the main course, and the Picard one is the one that matters. That's a good scene. These 2...
Oh, yeah. And one of the best Picard quote, I think, in history.
Okay, then we get there. I like the scene fine. Again, it does feel like we're sidestepping the entire plot. It makes sense, as we said, they're spending time to fix the ship. Therefore, there is time to do other things. But I do like the pure philosophical idea of this, is that, as he points out, he hasn't got the brain, the ego, the feelings. So therefore, the ideas of being, and unegoed and annoyed and whatever, these are things aren't things he can feel. But the apparent fact is that his programming learns, adapts, thinks in its own way, and it has its own ways to represent similar emotions, because he's learned to be like humans after 20 years at this point, do they say about that? It's an interesting thing. I like it. Like I said, it's a bit slow, but it's an interesting idea of, well, yeah, how much of the subtle stuff does Data still have in him? Apparently a lot. Yeah.
But next scene, we're back on the Stargazer, and we have
antimatter
now.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, it's a Hathaway or Constellation.
Oh, that's what I meant. Hathaway.
I know, but the second time you said it, I gotta catch you, otherwise we're gonna complain.
Fuck you.
Okay.
No, I would do the same thing. So we're back in the Hathaway now. And we have antimatter. And I love how Riker's like, say, what? He cheated. Anyway, kind of gets a disapproving little talk from Riker before the big smile and the sweet.
Yeah.
We got this. We're going to surprise some people.
But again, though, it's cheating. It's going outside any rules to have advantage. This one's a little better.
For Kirk, the word is spread that Kirk cheated, and it's got a commendation for original thinking. So now all Starfleet.
But it's like, imagine if Picard had decided, I'm going to cheat and turn my phaser power up by 80% because I've got more power than you. Or imagine I'm going to do some... if everyone cheats, then the game is sort of moot.
And Chris Valdez says Worf can cheat, but Wes can't. He was calling out what Worf's cheating as well. So
this is less bad because he's using his access to... It would have been nice if Wesley had, say, gone to Science Lab 3 and found something that's similar to what he'd been working on, and like said, I've just been working on plasma field containment. I think I can Jureg this into this. That would have been smarter. It's less of a cheat, but I mean, he still broke the rules, whatever. But they need the antimatter. And I love it's such a successful, like, yes, we've done it. And the payoff later of how much power you really have is so satisfyingly low. We'll get there. I love the juxtaposition here is really fun, actually.
Yep. But now we're back on the galaxy. And
the hell up.
Gotta mix it up.
Challenger
right?
on the...
No, on the...
Yamato.
There we go. That's what I was thinking. Anyway. And again, Data and Pulaski. Pulaski comes in and... I'm so sorry I made you play that game.
But she's also like, you might have been a gateway with Troy that you don't feel emotions, but I know better, you little shit. Get over them.
Yeah.
I love it.
Again, that's a good Pulaski scene, actually, because she's now friends with Data. It's coming across that she's friendly, and I gotta say, I don't mind her at all in this episode. So...
And it's nice.
And for me to change my tune, that's hard to do.
Yes. well presented with stuff is again, this sort of genuine review is important. We're analysing, we're thinking, we're talking. I mean, we've probably talked about these episodes more than you would have with Sylvia had you been sitting next to her. I mean, stretching it to 2 hours. Yeah, this is nice because Pulaski is very brash here, but you can tell it's 100% for his benefit. She's thinking for him, of him, for his sanity. So while she's being brash and strong-willed, it's completely for his benefit. There's no ill intent here, which is so lovely.
But she doesn't lay a smackdown. She basically hears what his side of it and then gives up, and is like, she walks out feeling bad, So
yes, but she also calls him out enough that no, you are feeling something. You are feeling something, just your equivalent of it. It's good. Yeah. It's good.
Tenchi 2K7 $5. It is possible to make no mistakes and still lose. Don't steal my thunder. I want to say the quote when it's time.
I didn't hear it. It's fine.
Unlike Trekyards, who always win. I like that last part. And Jeff Jacobs with $. Cheating on Trek is a work and the Keimaru. It is, yes.
Yeah.
He just wants some actual skill and strategy involved instead of just cheating. Is what I think Sam's trying to say.
Yeah, because it's like, because Kirk was impressed. People were impressed because he was the first person to try cheating in a test that would never be beaten. They're just trying to win using any backhanded technique to get a few seconds of victory and then maybe win. And then you'll say, well, how did you win? Well, we didn't follow the rules. Well, we follow the rules, and it just makes you seem sillier. It wasn't ingenuity.
Yeah, no,
it was cheating. But it's fun. It's just daft.
But it is ingenuity at the same time. You take every advantage you can get in these situations.
Oh yeah.
So
that's why it works for a war game. Just this could never have been done for a battle, which means it's a failed war game, but a successful test of people's ingenuity in a war game situation. Like, these skills are not transferable.
Well, I mean, you could beam aboard the Borg ship to steal some antimatter. I mean,
and one Borg drone's like, "Are you done yet? Are you done? I have to go recharge." Oh, there's a breather after assimilate. Are you done? Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Yeah. But did you catch Wesley's boss jumping over the railing for no effing reason?
I did, but yes, I made sure to get the screen cap of it. There
Good
you go.
Man. It's great.
I thought, hey, it's Tom Holland.
Go on, super chat for that. That's good.
Put a Spider-Man mask on him.
That's good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, but here we find out we have enough warp for just under 2 seconds. A 2-second warp jump.
Yes.
And then they compare it to popping the clutch on a standard. They're going to use it, and then they're going to stall, which means all their systems are pretty much going to be down. So it's kind of useless. They're going to have to save it for a moment. That's important, because once they do it, everything's kind of shot. So it is kind of pointless in a way. Anyway, there you go.
I was trying to think, how far could you get with 2 seconds? Could you get out of the solar system in 2 seconds?
No, I don't think so. No, wouldn't get very far, but
and it's warp 1. Out of sight. But there's well, I was about to complain. They say that they'll be able to acquire the scan lock, right? Thing is, we just saw in Star Trek Picard, if you warp for 1 second and drop out of warp, it'll take them many hours to realize that, having seen Narek and his shitty piloting. So in the most recent canon, this strategy works. They can't reacquire even though you'd be able to detect them instantly. I mean, for my brain, it should be instant. Oh, drop out of warp. Oh, instant. That's why the sensor is being invented so cleverly.
Well, yeah, it's like a second or two of hesitation for the sensors. Or the ship was there, then it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, because it's not that far.
Yeah, you've always got passive, long range, mid range, and scan. That's why people say beep 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 beep. Sir, there's a ship entering system. Yeah, because it's passively scanning. You're not looking for it.
They don't say that when the Ferengi come in. It's like,
no, they don't. Well, they're
focused on other things, which makes me think this is a safe place within Federation space that just happened to get a Ferengi passing.
Which is all the more problematic.
Right. Right.
But I like I said before, I love this 2 second idea. It's so nothing. I wondered originally if they were thinking Picard maneuver, because that would be exactly the sort of thing you can do with 2 seconds.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been a bit obvious,
Yeah.
But it's like there's a very similar feel to that.
Eugene puts in 250
Hey,
rubles
hi, Eugene.
and says, "Shut up, Spider-Man."
Oh,
And Area 51 puts in $2,
that's funny.
and Wesley sticks the landing.
Yeah.
Yes, over the railing, and a win for the Hathaway, kind of. Anyway.
And you know what?
So,
Can we give a quick shout out to? This is almost the end of Wesley's run. Is he regular in season 3?
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, we're over halfway through his run. In this one, he was a correct balance of know-it-all, smart, talented officer. Balanced as all hell.
That's what I mean. Almost everyone in this episode was like spot on what their character should be.
Yep.
Worf is a little off, but
I can get it because he's been given second in command, and he's kind of like, the battle. I'm excited for this. So he's kind of like on his, But Wesley, seriously, good job, man. He was the smartest guy in the room in some ways, and he plays it off really well. It's exactly how he should be. Good for him. Good for them.
But now we're back aboard the.
Oh yeah, I need to handhold an android.
Oh, that's one of the great lines.
Yeah,
I'm less than an hour away from a battle simulation, and I have to handhold an android.
I love it.
And I love how Pulaski, even though it's all her fault, says, "Oh, the burdens of command." Like, you bitch. That was kind of a bitchy line.
But it works. It absolutely works. It's like, look, Captain, this isn't that important. This officer is very important to us all. Come on, give him 5 minutes.
And honestly, if you're doing war games, battle simulation, how many times in a battle in real life does the captain have 15 other things on his mind? Because there's like treaty violations going on, there's a person in the brig, there's a whole bunch of shit going on. He's always got other stuff on his mind. So she's just making it more realistic. Just saying.
So saying she should manually engage sparks flying on the bridge. She should have set up little explosions just to add a bit of tension.
Sure.
She's a what do we call it when the actor's method? She's a method battle person.
Like in the middle of their battle with the Hathaway, she should call up from sickbay. "Sir, we got wounded down here."
So, have 104 deaths. What? Sir, 200 more deaths. What? Sir.
There's dangerous gas leaking on the bridge. You're going to die soon. Get off the bridge. Go to the emergency bridge.
Wow. Would it be great if they did that? It just looks like a Hathaway bridge. It's like, it's the same damn set. Because we got 2 sets.
All right. So, back to Data. Still doing his self-diagnostic. Picard comes down. "I need you on the bridge. You're my first officer. But I might make a mistake." "Yes, you might." Here we go. I love it. This is like my favorite Picard line quote ever. "It is possible to make no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life."
Oof. That's called writing.
Yeah.
That is like second, third draft, crafted. I mean, this one is better written than any Picard episode. Hands down. Hands down. I mean, my God, the writing quality is so much in comparison. I mean, and how much less budget per episode do you think this one was done to make?
No kidding, eh?
No, it's great. I think Picard's a little bit like, he feels like a season 1 Picard, the Stern, but I think he knows that Data can read what I'm giving off. I have to be the correct Captain Firm. This isn't a request, isn't a friend suggestion. Do your effing duty.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yep. It's that annoyance. It's genuine Picard annoyed because there's no reason to be having this conversation. You're a goddamn android. You lost a game. Get over yourself. It's like dealing with kids.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
No. And so, yeah, I think it's very appropriate. And it ends by, "Leave your hesitation and self-doubt here in your quarters. We got to go."
Well, no, not just that. He says, start doing some thinkings. We have to get you.
Yes.
You're my.
You can still form hypothesis, can you not?
Yeah. For some reason, I was expecting the dialogue to go, "Yes, there's reconnected." That's weird. Sorry, guys. I was expecting in this scene, I don't remember where it was going, so I was thinking fresh, that he was going to say, "Can you postulate, Lieutenant?" "Yes, sir." "Well, what if this, and this?" "Yes, sir." "And then you, this, and this?" "Yes, sir." "And then logically I'll be fine, sir." Exactly. Get to the bridge. Like, I thought he was going to logic his way into it. He just tells him off. He doesn't have to. He just sternly tells him off. I like it. It's good.
I love when Data shuts down the thing, closes out the console, which is great. And then we're up in conference room. He's talking to Troy, talking about studied Picard or Riker's history. In one incident, he calculated a blind spot on a Tholian ship, hid in a battle during the battle simulation. And then while he was aboard the Potemkin, his tactic was to shut down all power and hang just above the magnetic poles, thus confusing his opponent's sensors. So only 21% of the time does he rely on traditional tactics, which is a fairly low percentage for traditional tactics use. But anyway, so the captain must be prepared for unusual cunning. He may alter his tactics, however, but knowing that we know that he knows that we know, he may return to his original tactics. And I love how Troy's like, you're just thinking about this too hard. Just, you're overthinking the situation.
Yeah.
Great discussion.
And it's could have so easily been too much. Right on. And I don't know about you, and I just watched this one. I got the absolute unmistakable vibe that when Data was progressing in the scene, and this is a great still, he has his finger up, he is channeling his Sherlock Holmes. It's so obvious, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Good. Now on the bridge, and the game is afoot.
Battle time. Oh, see, that's good.
Although, hold on, Stuart. Now I did see this the first time round. What is going on with those back consoles?
They're not. They look like they're covered.
They look like they're covered.
With paper.
With paper. They're not working because that's not how the panels are. What is going on there?
I don't know. Maybe there was. It's pretty well lit. Picard. Maybe there was like glare, and the director's like,
It's really weird.
It is weird. I didn't notice it till just now either. So.
I noticed something was wrong with the back. I assume some panels might have been off because why need them on? I mean, I love Picard's smirk. He's like friendly, games on. Like that's where the harsh exterior that he's been playing this episode. Sometimes like, I now get to have fun. But let's see who's gonna win. No, it's good. It's right on the money.
It's a bit like you and me going into bridge crew together, or bridge commander facing each other. We'd have that look on our face on each end, going, "It's time."
Well, we kind of did with the adversaries when we played some of those verses.
Oh, yes.
Those little cheeky, like...
Speaking of adversaries, I'm going to be mentioning that near the end of this episode because there's something that reminds me of adversaries.
Okay. And then you get a completely non-shown battle for a bit.
Well, we get initiate the Kuma maneuver. That's important.
Oh, yeah.
And Geordi's like, the Kuma maneuver? Why would they start with such an obvious tactic? Counter with the Tenapulin maneuver. Or whatever. I don't fucking know. All right. So just yelling maneuvers at each other.
Yep. It's a bit daft. And they're not even firing while they're doing it. I don't know what the point is. Like, they both would have full shields. I mean, it's hard to even work out what the battle would be.
They're dancing right now.
Yeah. Can the Hathaway even launch? Because they say at one point it has no offensive weapons, not even the fake phasers are not even coming from the phaser emitters. They come from something else. Can it even fire fake torpedoes?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I assume it'd have to be able to. I would have liked if it said like full spread fire, because that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, they have this dance of battling of stuff.
But then, you're gonna say something.
Well, you do get this nice window shot, which I forgot. This long shot. That was nice to have. That actually, that was nice maneuvering because that shows they did actually do maneuvering.
Oh yes.
I liked that one. It was very quick.
You call it a window shot? You just call that a window on the?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you.
Okay.
It's a view screen. Anyway, but then a Romulan ship is approaching. They came out of nowhere, sir. And then we see the Derridex fly by, and it's a cool little flyby, gotta say.
For me, that's one of the most beautiful shots of the Derridex they ever did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just so, like, the motion blur is beautiful, like, the annoyance of making that is gorgeous. I love it. It feels so good in this shot. I love it.
That's awesome.
And then, yeah, the way, I love Patrick's acting here as Picard. It's so, like, captain-y. I don't know how to explain it. He goes from one mindset
Takes command, yeah.
Completely different mindset, even though, really, they can't swap phasers instantly. So he's in a very shitty situation right now.
Yep.
And a Derridex is much more threatening than a Decora, or that said, very threatening later on. Yeah. But yeah, and then the guy at the back is bemused. He's like, ah ha ha ha. Ha ha ha.
And then, the Hathaway starts firing. gets a couple shots off on the back of the the Enterprise. I almost said the Galaxy class.
Well,
Yeah, the Enterprise.
Oh, it's funny they were just behind the ship. Not sure how they managed to maneuver to get behind it and below it, but okay.
I think the Enterprise, as you saw on the view screen, was heading towards them, and then probably started to turn to face the Deredex, and then the Hathaway maybe scooped around behind.
I don't know.
But
it's a beautiful shot, though.
Yeah. Damage to several aft decks. Repair time 3.6 days. There must be chunks missing out of that hull.
Yeah, I have a slight problem with this in a sense of if the shields are still on full, Hathaway's firing point blank with antiquated phasers, it wouldn't do much damage. And they pretty much say that we've lost a lot of our weapon power from this attack. It's like, why would that attack do anything? Like the amount of times we see like a Ferengi or a Herodrish attacking Voyager, and it's like pew pew, shields down to 70%.
Yeah.
All of our systems are fine. Like our shields are lowered. You can't get the sense from this attack. Their shields are damaged, like drastically damaged to the point of they're barely working. Like, wow, we've almost crippled them. And it's like, why?
It is strange in that regard. But the shields and the damage is only they're plot driven, unfortunately, in all these episodes.
And also, they know they're running out of time, so they're starting to speed up the pace of the battle.
There's actually a line coming up later which kind of talks about what I just said. So
and Thribis does say maybe they pretend to have modern phasers. Yes, sure. I could buy that.
But still, a couple more hits, you know.
Yeah, because they should have said that.
Yeah. So we find out that Worf used his security codes, and Data's like, or Picard smiles. Oh, Data changes security codes, and then all of a sudden, right away, we get a Ferengi cruiser coming in.
And again, really nice CGI. Like, this is a good shot of it. It's the most action it's ever been, I think, and will ever be. Pretty much, actually.
And right away, Picard's like, it's fine. Data, did you change the security codes? Yep. All of a sudden, smash! Then the ship gets hit.
Well, they say it's like 5 light years away, and then suddenly it's there.
Well, they said it was coming in at warp 5.
Right, yeah. But they would have seen it from many light years away.
Yeah.
Bit weird.
And then the girl comes in behind Riker and Worf. That's not a projection. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then it comes in and attacks Enterprise D and really damages it. To the point of they fuse the fake weapons. They can't bring weapons back online. They do manage to get mineral torpedoes, but that's not enough to do too much. The shields are down to 1/5. I mean, this one ship has basically crippled them in 2 strikes. Very much, and it does honestly feel like Bird of Prey Star Trek Generations. How kind of like, yes, every shot is doing incredible damage, and like, really?
Well, one thing I want to say before, when the Discovery was first coming in, I love Picard's little line, Mr. Worf, I didn't give you enough credit, kind of under his breath, because they had already changed the codes.
Yep.
But yeah, now they can't disengage the modified beams. The connections have been fused, and I wrote because of course they have. And the transporters are also gone.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously.
But you've still got warp, although with the shields down to 1/5, even if they warped away, the Decorum could go after them and destroy them at warp. So ooh. And you're left wondering, A, why are the Ferengi here? B, where are they? Why are the Ferengi in Federation space? C, why are they attacking a Federation ship and not worried about a war or vengeance?
Reprisals, yeah.
D, makes you feel more sorry for Picard on the Stargazer, because this is just what they do. They just attack people just for the sake of it. And 5, whatever, E, why is it so effectively damaging them? It just feels really strange.
Well, yeah.
Oh, and why did they detect them on their warp in? I mean, they've had long range sensors, because they would have been warping in for possibly an hour in sensor range, and that's long before the war game started. So they absolutely would have detected them. And they just appearing is kind of like last week where Troy or whoever is in their quarters and Deanna walks in KLR walks in 1 second after the event. It's like, there's not really there shouldn't be a correlation here.
Yeah, it's TV, man.
Yeah. And Tenzingari says, where was Enterprise were the Enterprise D shields active or only simulated for exercise? If they were down, a surprise attack could cripple the ship and hit the right place.
They were in a simulated battle, so even simulated shields would be up.
Yes. Because
So-
you would lower them as the simulation went on. Like, it's all fake. I mean, shields would be at full, and they would be lowered. So, yeah, I'm sure that the Hathaway might have made them lower shields. But, yeah, I mean, why
I think
wouldn't
we
they
missed
be?
the super chat a while ago. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Q squared said, puts in $2. My kids were watching. Thanks, Commander Crude. I don't know what you said.
Oh.
Maybe I said it. Oh, I did. I swore. I'm sorry.
Well, you try not to for the most part, but, you know.
I know. That's sorry. Number one special puts in $2. Would codes mean they could know shield modulation? Maybe.
How?
Well, no, it's part of the security system. So Worf had the security codes, projected the image, and had their shield frequency, maybe. So that's why they got the hits through the shields. I think that's what he's trying to say. So maybe I'd buy that. Or they just need Geordi's visor. Go down to engineering. Look at the master display system.
If they could, if they had said earlier on, right? If the alien guide said, just to make it fair between you two, we're lowering your shield potential to the same as a Hathaway, just to make it about equal. And they were thinking, okay, their shields are at 80 years old, and Picard could say, that's only about 50% of normal. Precisely. Then the Hathaway lowers their shields down to, say, 30, and then it comes in and is down to, like, if they had that progression, fine. But yeah, it's narratively driven. But would you really want to give up those good character moments for more battle that doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme? No, exactly. So it's tricky.
But the dude is the stratagem guy is saying we got to get out of here. You know, 40 losing 40 crew members is perfectly acceptable. Blah blah blah. Saving 1,000, whatever. So he's freaking out. He's demanding that they get out of there. And Picard's like, I'm still the captain. It's my ship. My crew members are over there.
Yep.
We're doing this my way.
Yep.
And then we get Quark. It's Armin Shimmerman playing the main Ferengi there. So that's another great reason. This is one of the best episodes because not the first. He was in.
He's every Ferengi, pretty much.
Pretty much.
And what's great, he doesn't look like Quark. Doesn't look like him. He does. We've met. I think we both met Armin Shimmerman, and you can really see him under the face. It's just him with a cheap mask. Like they just did him as a secondary. They didn't use the original mask. You can kind of tell. But anyway. I'm having now talked about this with you. It does seem odd that the stratagem guy, he's the greatest strategist in the galaxy. His only thing he can think of is run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if that's the best strategy.
It's a good strategy. You save lives that way. You don't get into conflicts. It's like rich people. Rich people don't like paying for a lot of things. Like, well, why not? They're rich. They have the money. But then the logic is they didn't get rich by writing a lot of checks. Yeah. So it's the same kind of thing with this strategy. You run away, you regroup, you come back.
Well, you know you can win.
Sure, you lost a ship full of 40 people, but you saved 1,000. Yeah. It's a good strategy. It literally is a good strategy, air quotes. But it's not the best strategy for victory in the situation, I guess. You know?
I just do think that as soon as they started warping away, they're damaged. The Ferengi ship could go in and fire torpedoes at warp and cripple them. They're not going to get far.
Yeah.
I mean, like, would you really want the Enterprise D to leave? Wouldn't you want two prizes? If I was a Ferengi, let them warp away, follow them, cripple them, destroy their oxygen, kill everyone on the ship. Now you got tracked them back to the Hathaway. Boom, you got boat. You got the flagship. Because I mean, they've done more than any other Ferengi ship will ever do in crippling the flagship. Literally, will ever do.
Well, they may not necessarily know it's the flagship, but.
I mean, this is the guy of Praxia. I absolutely think. I mean, they're not the same Federation ship in range. They'll be able to scan its transponder and know what it is. I don't buy for a second. I don't know what it is.
It doesn't say Enterprise flagship. It says USS Enterprise. They don't know that it's the flagship necessarily.
But they would have from the last time they encountered. Like they've got spies. They've got people to deal with. I mean, they know the politics situation, and they've known they've been with the Federation for 2 years now, dealing with them. The last time we had an engagement with the Enterprise D, they'll know that as well. I mean, I know I'm extrapolating a little bit, but news will travel. You know,
Yeah. Anyway, they ask, we saw you attacking this other Federation ship, but now you
Yeah.
protect it. What is its value?
Yeah. Well, it must be valuable. Must be
You will,
very valuable.
yeah. You will not survive another attack.
Mm-hmm.
Retreat or die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So that's pretty much it. And I gotta say, it was cool seeing Quark, hearing a little bit of Quark, but not seeing Quark. It was really good. So
these Ferengi, they've got the costumes now, and we know we're in next season. We're going to get them start to barter. This is them being none of the goofy, just mean. Problem is, without the goofy, they're pretty dull. You know what I mean? They haven't got much they're adding to it, but they are more menacing, but just as much as we have powerful ship. You stop, we kill. So they didn't know what they're trying to be. I mean, hey, I appreciate they came back. I appreciate they did some cool. They did a good attack. All credit. But they didn't know what they're trying to be. They just kind of are. And I can imagine Shinman saying, "So do you want me to be all acting and Enterprise? We kill it." No, don't do any of that. No one liked it. Really? No, it wasn't you, Armin. It was just everything you were. Just settle down, sit down, and don't move much. But that's not Ferengi. I should know. I invented them. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will say, probably, now in retrospect, these scenes with them, while good, are a little bit too long. I would rather have had a little more battle than these guys, in retrospect. But I'd still like them. Yeah.
So they give them 10 minutes, 10 of their minutes to figure things out. And again, the dude's still saying, take off, leave. And then they get the stacked up ships. You get the lineup of them.
Beautiful.
Which looks exactly like Star Trek Adversaries.
Oh.
You have your ship, then you have your fleet, and the one comes up and does its thing. I just thought it was a good shot.
Yeah. No, this is a beautiful, beautiful shot.
Mm-hmm. So they talk to Riker on the Hathaway, and they're all sitting around. And Riker says, "Oh, we're waiting for you to pull another rabbit out of your hat." The saying for me is waiting to pull another rabbit out of your ass, but so that's what I expected it to say, and it's like, nope, hat. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And
my only thing here is that the Ferengi imply that they were monitoring transmissions.
Yeah, I know.
And Riker says he was monitoring their transmissions explicitly, so he could access those. So why weren't the Ferengi monitoring their transmissions when they are discussing the battle plan? When he just said they can monitor transmissions. I know you could probably encrypt site to site, but they would be monitoring. And often you've had things where you can monitor signals, and it seemed a bit weird to introduce it and then ignore it when the entire battle plan is over radio. When a little weird, but what else can you do? But a little bit weird. Call them out for a little bit.
So we find out we can launch limited quantum torpedoes now.
Quantum? What?
I mean, photon torpedoes.
Jesus!
Shit, thanks, man.
The blue ones. We can launch the blue ones. Oh, hold on. As Jeff says, 162 people watching. Brilliant. 1 to 200. We're almost there. Only 135 likes.
150. Easy, guys.
Come on, 150.
That's right.
Sorry, there you go.
So the plan is we're going to fire 4 photon torpedoes. Yeah. I wrote this down. Fire 4 photons at the Hathaway. Do they actually fire 4? I think they fire 2.
Well, it's full spreaded, so who cares? It
and
does.
4 is kind of excessive for a ship that... Anyway, you need 1. Anyway, the computer... And at the same time, the computer's going to initiate the warp jump.
Yes.
Where Geordi chimes in and says, we don't even know if it's going to work.
Yep.
So we could very well die. If it doesn't, the results could be very unfortunate. So yeah, that's the plan. Blow up the ship-ish, and then get the Hathaway out of there. It's just relative safety for now, I guess. The Enterprise is still kind of cooked. So it's not really much of a plan, honestly. Because it won't take long for the Ferengi to take out the Enterprise and then quickly find the Hathaway, which is no match for them. So
Well, this is where the last reveal is the important bit. Because you're right, this plan is sort of... It would be nice if it said, like, we can falsify our own torpedo readings as if all the weapons are online, something else. But yeah, them escaping a little bit doesn't really mean much. I'm sure they could have walked to the other side of the moon, of the planet. That would have been a good solution. Get out of the range.
Or warp to the pole of the planet, shut down all power, and hide from the sensors, because that's already been done.
Yeah. It's a good plan in the... I like the fact they're going to blow it up. It sounds cool. I like the genuine concern everyone has with, yes, 1 millisecond, not a lot of time. Literally no, no leeway. But I like that everyone's so professional that with a very, very there's no margin for error whatsoever. That they trust everybody. If Dave says he can do it, he can. Everyone trusts Geordi. I mean, I love that Riker always doubles down on Geordi's skill. He's like, I trust your skill. Always, without a doubt. And Wesley, to be fair, by extension. So it's a good-ish plan. But yeah, they should have said the last bit. I know it's a reveal, but, But we'll get there, and we will talk about it.
Yeah. So Picard says to the Ferengi, you know what?
And actually, why didn't Stratagem Guy at this point have one other solution? That would have been nice if he'd thrown something else out and Picard had said no. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if you quadrillate the warp-filled matrix and use it as a time bomb? And he's like...
Well, you don't want him to be smart. I like that he's kind of like, let's run away. It's the best strategy right now.
You mean going with the preconception that they were saying earlier that, well, if you think they're amazing, but have you really tested it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I can buy that.
Yeah. So Picard says, you know what? That's our ship. It's our property. You're not going to have it. We're going to destroy it. And I love looking at the still of this back of the ship. I love the lights, the blinkies. I think those look really cool. Anyway.
They are weird, though, because the light is inside it and also underneath it, but the bulb itself isn't lit up.
Well, yeah, it looks like a real light.
Yeah, but also not bright. Yeah, it looks like a light inside a light, but the light's not. Yeah. The light's not bright enough to light up the light. And the impulse
looks like a light on a model, like it's flashing, so it's fading out or fading in.
Yeah.
And it's just or low power.
Yeah. But the impulse glow. Look at that beautiful spectacularity. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I also love the way that the Ferengi react. They're like, "What do you mean? What? We thought we won." I love just the pure confusion. And then shooty, and it really quickly.
Now, did it work forward, backwards, up, down, sideways?
And again, no impulse. And in fact, those impulse units don't even look like there's no glowing inside the impulse bits. There's no impulse in the bit either. Weird.
No, it's that this was remastered by that company that didn't do the best job for season 2, so they must have forgotten or missed it. Even the impulse crystals on the side.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Not good.
But they've got a conference room though, which is nice. Like the big window back. I've looked back in the original to see if those were on, because I'd assume it's a light rig, isn't it, for the miniature? Like everything's on, nothing's on. And I said broke, but that's fine. I really wish though we'd got, because you would have thought if this is going to warp, it flares, goes forward into a star, into a warp flare. Like you don't just is it go
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was saying. Which way did it go?
And it's way too abrupt. I know what it's trying to be, but it's just really, really abrupt. That's my complaint.
It would have made more sense to have the Stargazer start turning,
yes,
and then have the explosion. So it could have just worked that way, right?
Yeah, or same thing. Maybe have because they can monitor contact, like maybe do an open channel version, and Riker's like, "No, Captain, you can't be serious." Starts to turn, moves away from camera. You see the back of it, and then it torpedoes, and then it's like, they didn't want to die. That would have been beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, the Ferengi are like, "Yeah, we got the high ground, and there's another Federation starship approaching."
We've got the high ground.
They're like, "Screw this."
That's fine.
Exactly.
Well, the high ground always works.
And they turn around and they warp out. And my question is, how did Worf know their security codes to be able to do that?
Although before you jump into that,
Oh, yes,
In
sorry.
the in the original version, it is not on either. That miniature is not lit. And in
Oh,
fact, the lighting on the model, it looks a lot nicer. They did another like orange pass. There's like a weird blue glow on the ship for some reason as it starts to explode, which doesn't connect at all. So actually, they actually improved it slightly. Would have been nice if they'd actually re-added in, some whatever. But yeah, none of even the backward shot, there's no glow. So they matched the miniature. They just didn't remember to turn it on. Weird. Oh, what do you think of the Ferengi warp out effect?
that was stupid.
Yeah, it's a bit funny.
But anyway, so they warp out, and Riker's like, "That's some more of that Klingon guile." Ha ha. Ha ha ha. No explanation needed. It's fine.
And just to to be fair, Matt Ballman says, "Hey now, we actually did a great job with season 2, despite what the sites have said. We just had some people down the line who sabotaged our work." So there you go, Stuart, from the team himself.
You worked on this. I didn't mean to badmouth you, but it's not the best.
Yeah, I knew he was
Sorry.
there, so I was enjoying what you said.
I didn't. But thanks for that, Samuel.
No, you are.
No, we've said that before with season 2. It wasn't compared to the other ones. It's not, Anyway.
But I've heard a couple of stories that they got sabotaged a little bit. But now that I've seen the previous one, the miniature shots were also lacking. So actually, considering what they replaced, really good job, because you can't tell, and that's always a good sign when you can't tell. But yeah, the Ferengi see a ship.
So they take off.
So they take off. It's very abrupt. And no one questions how.
It's the end of the episode, man. It's the wrap-up time.
But the problem is when you explicitly say how you're doing something and then do it in a way that's completely contrary to how you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if they hadn't used command codes and Worf said, I can trick his senses by an old Klingon trick, and he was able to scan it and do it. But that honestly feels like a super stupid way to end the episode because it does not make sense. Now, you could possibly say the Ferengi have garbage sensors and garbage security and they can hack it or whatever. But that's pushing it because then why not use it for every Ferengi ship if it's just something you could do on a 80-year-old ship with little effort?
The password was password. That's the reason.
No, I love that. That's hilarious. But it does break the end. I will say the end is definitely a weaker part.
It's that quick wrap up that we give a lot of the episodes, which this one isn't as bad as some other ones.
No,
it's kind of like but
I'll be honest. Two-parter have the Enterprise D have to leave and Star and the I did it. Have the Ferengi board the Hathaway, and continue that. That would have been great. And they come back and do the plan. You could have definitely done more. Definitely done more with it.
Charles, $2. Peak Performance was one of my favorite episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree.
Matt Ballman does counter and say, yes, he did. It's a great privilege to work on it. We had an absolute blast working on it with Dan Curry and the Okudas. But yeah, there are reasons.
Reasons.
And he says, it is my pleasure to be here. I'm glad to have the opportunity to listen to the fun Trekyards discussions. Aww.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
From a guy that actually made Trek. And other Trek too. And we'll make more Trek. Don't get distracted so much, Matt. You know what I mean?
Anyway, let's finish the episode. So the guy kind of capitulates, says, Riker's not that bad after all. And has a weird moment. But
slaps the guy on the chest yes, slaps the guy on the back. Yes, it's fine. But it's good. It's a good, it's well acted. It's right. It's just right.
And then their tractor in the Hathaway.
I love this is an appropriate use of reused stock footage.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Although I don't think that matches. I don't think their version of the Hathaway had the red pinstriping in the nacelle grills. Because that's very distinct on this shot. I really don't think that one had. Let me find a shot.
And the nacelle grills.
The forward bit. So it's got red, like the pennants almost, as if the pennants go beyond. I'm trying to find a forward view.
Oh no, it's just bad lighting. Those are supposed to be black. They look red. I know what you're saying, but
the same exact. Well, it's also the nebula reflection, maybe. It's some carryover from the nebula or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Although to be fair, again, no impulse crystal. I mean, should be on, isn't.
And the awesome Darren Wagner is here, $5. I'm a
Thank
sucker for any show where the characters fix up an old busted ship and make it operational, even useful. Guys, go subscribe to Darren Wagner's channel. He is a submariner, well, ex-submariner, former submariner, and he talks about how Star Trek and submarines and the relationships between how things work on a sub and how they work in Star Trek. Some really great videos on his channel. So go check him out. Subscribe to his channel. Nice to see you, Darren.
Sweet.
But yes, we're not done with the episode yet. We go down to 10 forward, and it is the rematch time. And I love when Riker has a huge smile on his face. He's just such a happy guy. And Pulaski's also happy. But they are playing stratagem again, and they're up to 32,835 for data. When the other games ended at like 100, you know. And the other guy's getting really frustrated, making the faces. He got the Ferengi direction for this episode. You know those Ferengi guys acted in Last Outpost? You act like that.
But more.
Yeah. And finally gives up and storms off. And the reason is Data assumes he was playing to win.
Which he was.
So, yep. So all he was doing was blocking him from winning. And essentially it was a tie, a draw. So he didn't win, but he didn't let the other guy win either. So,
well, if this guy's undefeatable, a draw is defeating him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and the guy gave up. So you could also argue that he did concede to Data. You could make that point. He did give up. He did run away. No, I think the direction in the scene in particular is so good. Brent's non-acting, and yet in the eyes, it's all in the eyes. Let me find the still. I love, because you know you can have non-acting, right? You can have bland acting, but you absolutely see that Brent is imagining all of the emotions, and it comes across, but also not as an emotion. A very slight tilt up of the lip. You know, it's really good direction, really good. And then
Great Data moment.
Yeah, and there's also on the encyclopedia all those clips I kept seeing over and over again. I love his genuine reaction of, "Oh, why did you stop?" Like that was, you know, it was going to happen.
Like I was having fun. What are you doing?
Yeah. He doesn't. He's so caught up in the moment that he doesn't think. It's great. It's really, really good at the moment.
Yeah. Zeraxis throws in $5, and this is one of two, so there's two comments. Just my thoughts, but I always got the feeling that the Ferengi weren't actually Ferengi, but were rather disguised associates of Kolrami. I never got that impression. He goes on to say, with another $5 super chat, the way they speak is similar to Kolrami, and the way that they engage and retreat makes the whole event look like it was staged as a test. I mean, okay, that's a new way of looking at it. Which I appreciate, because now I want to go back and rewatch it and see.
Oh, but it's not there. No, I just watched it. It's not there.
As for their speech patterns and stuff, if you think that, I mean, it's just the writing style.
Well, the direction, not the writing, because you can make writing look.
See, if he had said that after the fact, after they left, you passed my little test. Just a small little thing, because he's a strategist. You wanted to see how they dealt with pressure, and somebody saying you should just retreat. Fantastic. That would have added so much to the episode, actually.
But it wouldn't have made him the baddie at the end. Like,
well, he's not supposed to be a baddie. He's
but we've won against him because we don't like him as much as we could do.
Yeah.
If you had him be smart at the end, as you said earlier, he can't be smart. But it would have been. I do agree. But that would have been the two-parter. That would have been two-parter. The double reveal is that this is all a plan. I would have had, though, it be a plan by Starfleet, because he's a high Starfleet guy. It was a test to see if Riker is good for the captaincy. If this was his very first test, like his Kobayashi Maru, that sometimes with captains you pitch them against a test a Starfleet puts on, that would have been beautiful, because he could have extended it, and they could have even been honestly been a genuine Ferengi that they've just hired, because Ferengi do shit for money, and that explains why they have the shield frequency. They genuinely hit and do damage, or even that explains why they do so much damage, because they are also modulated to the same fake frequency, but Kolami and Federation have tacked on to the program that makes it all fake, to hide the fact that they're setting fake weapons. Yeah, that would have been a really nice reveal, but it would have changed the ending, obviously, completely. But I think the tone it ends on is what it wanted to be. But had they made that, that would have been a brilliant two-parter. Really good, actually.
Christopher Roche puts in $10.
Oh, thank you.
I don't think the Ferengi were really needed. I personally would have preferred it had stayed just a low-stakes battle simulation, as I still found it exciting. Yeah, it really wasn't needed, but, need a little bit of stakes at the end, I guess. So.
Well, the thing is, Riker could never have won, so it allowed, just like with the game, Riker didn't win. He stalemated because of another situation. It mirrors the internal. Yeah, actually it does, exactly. Data could never win against the Master because he's the Master, and Riker never win against the better ships, he never could. Yeah. If they'd done something clever, though, let's take it a different path, exactly the same as Data did, so we wouldn't lose. If Riker, when Wesley had got his science fair, it was a prototype holographic emitter, and the strategy was instead, the first trick was Worf's trick, to make Picard think, okay, we've undone the hack, we know. Then they do a second trick, which is a holographic version of the ship, and the Hathaway starts fighting it to prove it's real. Then the Enterprise start fighting, and because it's got holographic weapons, it can also shoot lasers because it's just all energy, isn't it? Like, it's a hologram, it can, whatever, it can shoot energy, fine. And it manages to disable the Enterprise, and Picard has to say, well, okay, we concede, like, it's a double fake because of Wesley's tech, which would have been their move to make a stalemate, because they couldn't win, but they could make the Enterprise sort of join forces and give in. Maybe. Interesting, though. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, you could definitely do more with it, but I like it. I think it's a good episode.
Yeah.
Area 51 throws in $2. Korami ran away, bravely ran away. Yes.
Yeah.
As you do. Jeff Jacobs puts in $2. 150. Let's make Cap say 200. See, I said it for you, even though you didn't. I didn't have to.
But you didn't say it like you meant it. That's the difference.
That's right. I'll say it like I mean it next time if we hit 200.
And we should. We need to.
So that's it, guys. That's peak performance. Almost last episode in season 2. Would be good to finish here.
Really, just like with Enterprise, ignore the finale. This is the real last one.
Yes. But that being said, we'll be doing Shades of Grey on Thursday. Which will be interesting. We'll be drinking and hashtag Shades of Grey and
a clip show.
And a clip show of Trekyards reviewing the other clip shows that are in the clip show.
So we get to watch our own content for a bit.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that afterwards. We got to get to our ratings. Like I said, I think this is almost a perfect episode of Star Trek. You got all the characters play an important role. They all feel like they're characters. You get ships, you get battle, you get enemies, you get Starfleet solutions to problems. Instead of actually fighting the enemies, find a way to trick them, get out of the situation. There's a couple other things I was going to say about feeling Star Trekky, but there's a lot of great stuff in this episode. Pulaski didn't piss me off. Pulaski's character is actually good now, but it's too late because we got one more episode with her. But Jill was right, just want to say. And I don't know. It was just, and plus we got Armin Shimmerman as Ferengi way before Quark. There's just lots of little nice things in here, and the redheaded guy, I kind of liked him. Plus he's in other sci-fi stuff apparently. So I know he looks very, very recognizable.
Oh yeah,
very familiar.
I mean, do you want me to quickly go in IMDb?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
But he's in a lot of stuff. He's definitely a character actor. I think he's also ex-military, which is why he has a certain vibe among him. Yeah.
But anyway, so as for season 2, this is going to get a 10 out of 10 for season 2.
Ooh!
Because like I said, it feels so Star Trek.
So not to be that guy, but this is better than one of the biggest reviewed ever, Measure of a Man. This is better than Measure of a Man.
For me, this is more Star Trek than Measure of a Man. It's got ship battles. It's got another ship. That's another era. I love the era. I love the motion picture. I love that scene of the bridge.
Spot on characters.
So, yes. So I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 for season 2. This is the best episode in season 2.
Woo!
I'll say that right. As for all of TNG, I'm going to give it I was going to give it a 9.5, but I'm going to give it a 9.
God, 9.5, that would have been... Oof.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay.
yesterday when I watched, or earlier when I watched it, I'm thinking, what am I going to rate this? I'm going to rate this a 10 out of 10, like the best Star Trek episode. But it's got so many elements that are Star Trek, and it would definitely be one that I would say here, as you know, somebody that's just getting into Trek or hasn't seen a lot of Trek, kind of knows what's going on. Watch this. This will get you into Trek. So yeah, I might rate it a little high, but I really enjoy this one. So when I heard we were doing peak performance before we reviewed it, I was like so excited.
Which is why I appreciate that it was actually better than I remembered. That takes a certain special something to be better. Just saying.
Yeah. So that's my review.
Wow.
So my scores. So let's hear yours.
Yeah. Okay. As I always try and do, and guys, you put in your super chat scores now, which you'll read, and your non-super chats I'll read. So scores now, would love to. Well, I'm giving my thing. I said lots of things that I could see doing better. That's because I want to try and find something, you know. And most of them are just, oh, what if this, or what if this, or that's a bit funny, whatever. But none are really actual problems. They're just things that you see in retrospect that could be better. But that doesn't mean it's not already amazing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Measure of a Man, that awful shot with Starbase that makes no sense scaling.
Guys, turn on the impulse engines on the Hathaway.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. Like something like that. That's like, it's dumb, but it can't really lower the score. Really, it doesn't really work. This one, yeah. What really gets me is that the character stuff is so on point. I was really surprised in rewatching that every character is so well done. It does, like I said, it feels like Star Trek 3. 4. Everyone gets something to do, better or worse. Even the guest stars good. Non-main guest stars get them, like the random people on both Hathaway and the ginger guy. Everyone gets lines. It's a really big episode, even though it's a really small episode. And that's really special. And the writer, considering his later work, what talented man, my God, really, really good. So my gut says 9.5 for season 2. 10 out of 10 is such a rare thing, you know.
I know.
Because I think for me, like, there's little things definitely and could be done better. I just think 10 is a hard one. I know there will be some 10s, but yeah, definitely 9.5 in that realm. Because I also gave a high one for Measure of a Man, and I do enjoy this one more. I enjoy Measure of a Man. Measure of a Man is a 1 view, maybe 2. This is a 3, 4, 5 view. This is just fun to watch. Measure of a Man, you get it. You've watched it.
More intellectual, this is more fun, adventure, action kind of thing.
Yeah.
Different style of Star Trek.
And as you've said, that could be any sci-fi show. This is so Star Trek in that all the characters drive it and the ships drive it. You know, so 9.5. All of TNG, I'll go for an 8. So this is definitely in the topper echelon, and this could have been a season 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, this is any season of quality. You know, if this had been season 1, it would have actually been the best of season 1. So yeah.
My question is, where was O'Brien and Guinan? They must have been hanging out together, playing phaser battles in the holodeck. It was missing O'Brien, and it was missing Guinan.
Yeah. You know what, O'Brien to beam them over and say, "Good luck, Captain Riker," and Riker's like, "Oh, or, Captain, I like the sound of that." There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah, or just have Wesley walk in with a smile on his face, say, "Chief, I need you to do something for me," and have the red-haired guy stay out in the hallway.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and he could say, "Oh yeah, I'm Team Riker." I know, me too. Yeah, perfect. And then Guinan, all we have to do is have her.
She could talk to Data about his problem.
Yeah, but it should be Troy over Guinan. If you think about this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But think about this instead. Have the scene where they're being attacked by the Romulans, and Picard says, "Bridge to all hands, prepare for attack with the Romulans." And you hear, like, you know, they're like, you cut down to Guinan. She's standing right at the window, like,
"Bitch, please, there ain't no Romulans out here."
And then she says, "Captain, there's no Romulans here." Or like just loads of music, like. Okay, Riker, you did good. Like that one little cut would have been great. Because the 10-4's right there, you know. That would have been fun. Or no, why wasn't Gunn at the game? She should have been. She should have been both times. You didn't need Worf saying the betting. That could have been replaced. That would have made sense. But obviously she wasn't available. But easy ways of bringing you in. But guys, we want to hear your scores, and I'd love to see another $20 in super chats. That would be good. 20, not a lot to ask for. We're doing well so far. Not brilliant, but well. 20 would make that even better. So Stuart, give us the super chat review scores, and I will jump into it.
All right, we got Jersey at $5. It is possible to have a perfect live stream and still not get 200 likes. This is not a weakness. It is the YouTube algorithm. That's beautiful. 9 out of 10 for season 2. 8 out of 10 for TNG. Good numbers. Squadra Course, $2. Great review for a great episode. Thanks. Thank you, Squadra Course. There you go. That's all I have to read.
Okay.
Now your turn.
I have more. So if you want to hear Stuart say something, then super chat right now. Devro, 7 out of 10. Dark Lord, 10 out of 10. Oh. Charles, 8 out of 10. Zeraxis, 8 out of 10. Area 51, 8.5 for season 2. 7 for all of Trek. Aussie says 8.9 out of 10. Good. Raj, 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10 for us. Ryan, 7 out of 10 Hathaways. 8 out of 10 says Becky. 7 out of 10 says Dan, so lower for Dan. 9.5 out of 10 for season 2, and all of TNG 8.5 says Thanis. Sorry, Colin Barrett 8. 10 out of 10 for all of TNG. Oh, 10 out of 10 for season 2, and 9 for Tenkney 2K7. Eugene 8 out of 10. So sometimes we butt heads with him on our review scores, but he's right up there with us. Charles is 11 out of 10 for your review. Or he's a captain, so he's reviewing a lot. I don't know. Three 7.5. Super Coop's 9 out of 10 season 2. 8 for all TNG. 7 for all of Trek. And 8.5 says fun will now commence. Cool.
Well, fun will now commence, says at Trekyards. It would be interesting if you would interview Matt Boardman on the show. I'm certain that many people here would be interested in technical aspects of Trek would like that.
That's aimed at me, isn't it?
Well, it's us.
I know him, so.
Exactly. So, Matt, come join us.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that, unfortunately, if they're like... It's like why John Eves doesn't do interviews, because at some point, the stories you tell about current Trek and what you worked on, it's like, if there's only so much to tell and some of it's negative, you know, sometimes you can't come on just for that pure reason. You know? But there's definitely good things to look at. And I'd love to know the subtlety stuff. So we'll have a chat. He's done some other cool Star Trek stuff. I don't know if he wants me to mention what else he's done, but he's done some cool fan filmy stuff. Yeah. Oh, what?
I lost the pip.
Demotion!
I gotta find my pip.
We will not. Okay, so now every $5 will allow him to look further for a new thing. Every $5 he'll find a new pip. So if you somehow donate $20, he'll have to put in even more pips. How many pips do you have? You could do like a whole. You could do like a whole row of pips, just like both sides. I have the 19 pip.
Oh, there! I got them all. Sorry, I found it. It just had attached to the other pip. It did a wardrobe malfunction like in Picard.
Oh goodness, yes. So yeah, well done TNG season 1. Season 2. I really wish this had been the end. It would have been a very strong end to the season. I'm thoroughly not looking forward to Thursday's one.
Yes, you are.
Well,
fun.
To be fair, it's going to be a drinking super chat one, just like Code of Honor was. So if you want us to get drunk, then bring your super chatting game, and you'll make us have more fun by not thinking as hard, because we'll be intoxicated.
And technically, the episode's probably only 14 minutes long without the clips.
Hey,
so
I looked at how many clips in the show. There's a lot of episode clips, like as in the Memory Alpha, how many each episode. It's like 18 episodes with clips. If they're all in like a minute, I'm sure there's like a little bit of just a quick set of stuff later on. But I mean, boy, I would say 9 minutes of new content, 10 max.
But we get to watch old stuff, which is fun. And my camera's out of focus. You didn't tell me like you always do.
We're just on out of focus. Do we know what we're doing tomorrow? Because we are doing a non-review live tomorrow, because some of you don't watch the review, although also we turn today. Do we have any ideas? What do you guys want us to talk about tomorrow? Not that we'll listen to your ideas, but what would you guys like us to talk about tomorrow? and do and review and talk about. Do you want to do a live? We need to do a live.
Well,
any ideas?
If we weren't going to do one together, I was going to do one myself. But let me take my badge off.
And if you're doing a drunk live on Saturday, I'll be getting drunk too, because why not? Yes, we are also doing that as well, so we double, I guess, in a week. Although I think we're just going to gently, and I'm not going to do shots for Shades of Grey. It'll just be sips, which, I mean, it's just like having a beer, isn't it? But I can certainly get gently, gently buzzed on a. I don't drink much, so and I just won't eat as much that day. But yes, weekend. Oh, already to that, aren't we?
Yeah. Hold on a second here. We have a last super chat. Olivia Julius, $2. Commander Foley. No, I found Captain again. You shut up. You shut up. Don't call me Commander. So yes, I guess that's it. And I don't know. What do we want to talk about tomorrow?
Rush is Orville, but not sure there's much to do. Squad, of course, there's fan films maybe, but I mean,
I don't know, nor do I care.
Oh, come on, you do care.
Tish, there might be in one or two coming up. Who knows?
Yeah, Tish for sure, Stuart. You certainly care.
We could talk about the Picard fertilizer tomorrow.
It'll be a 3-hour live, long one. We'll have a think. We'll have a think, and you'll see the thumbnail pop up at around normal time tomorrow. But do join in. It'll be a fun, amazing topic. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right. So, Olivia won last super chat slot. So, there you go. If anybody else wants the last super chat slot, it's there before we hit the stop button.
Ozzy says, am I going to get my ambassador dad over? I don't think he'll be around for that one.
Oh, for Saturday? Sylvia might be there.
Yeah, well, there you go. She can take his spot as special guest. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thanks, everyone. Have a great everything. And we'll see you tomorrow. But this was fun. Obviously, as you can tell, it went long. So it was fun.
It was fun. It's a great episode. Love it.
Almost season 3. Some pretty interesting ones in season 3. So
Captain Foley's two thumbs up. Perfect 10 out of 10 for a season. Will there be a 10 out of 10 for all Trek or TNG? Probably. Maybe. Who knows?
Thing is, I really like all good things. You know? If you're gonna,
we'll have to see.
I mean, it's really good though.
It is.
And you know what? Is cause and effect perfect? It's really good too.
There's some really good ones. Because
I'm wondering what would a 10 out of 10 for TNG be? Because there's got to be some by definition.
I want to know what a 10 out of 10 for you would be. Seth Galfy puts in $1.
Thank you.
So,
well, what would be 10 out of 10 for me then?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I would like to find, because you always find flaws in everything. So.
Oh, come on! I'm analytical.
You nitpick.
I'm not. I do not nitpick. I actually avoid nitpicking.
I'm just kidding. So I'd like to see what you rank 10 out of 10. That'll be a momentous event for sure, and see how my score compares to yours.
Stuart says 6 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Are you really? What?
There's some episodes where I'm like, I did not like that, and you're like, I love that episode. It's like, oh my good god.
Well, Shades of Grey, we can both hate together. I will hate it, so we can both hate together.
And Seth says, new fan love, you guys.
Fan
love you guys. Well, thank you, Seth. Very much appreciated.
Good to chat. Oh, yes, super chat right away. Thanks so much.
Oh, here we go. Super Coops, 2 pounds. Do I dare challenge Olivia? D.
I think that's what I'm trying to do. Don't know.
Yes, I think so. So there you go. Super Coops win the last spot. Sorry, Olivia. I know we're talking. At the end of my live, she's like, would you just end it already?
It's a good time. Right episode. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one. Thanks for joining in. And yeah, have a great one, guys. See you then. Bye.
Hey guys.
Bye.